This is an emergency broadcast on all YouTube bulletin stations.
No, it isn't. This is your Sunday Night Social Club. It is the Adams Arms, a place where football is still fun, a hostelry for the hopeful, a place where we all get along. Sometimes not, but we do. We usually just get along. And I don't ask the question ironically. I watched us beat Man United at Old Trafford, which is always a joyous thing to happen, particularly given just how vocal their fans are. And I think there is a lot to be said for the fact that they were talking a lot before this match about how they were going to do it. Brand new front line almost. We did see a glimpse of Šeško. Cunha looked really good. And Mbeumo looked really good. They look a better team. And it wasn't a great game. But we won. We got the 3 points, first game of the season. I was predicting a draw. So in terms of the points, I am delighted. But I think you could say about this match, actually, every Arsenal fan will be happy because you got the fans who are totally, apparently, I don't know any of these guys, but what everyone calls the top gooners who think everything is brilliant all the time, live in a sort of blissful, constant state of happiness, which doesn't sound that terrible, if I'm honest with you. They're always happy anyway. They might even be happy if we're relegated. Like I said, don't know any of them, but I hear about them a lot. Hear top gooners being talked about a lot. Then you've got like mid gooners like me who basically sometimes really happy, sometimes not so happy. Would dearly like to see us win a trophy. Haven't seen us win the league since 2004, that Leicester game at Highbury, where we went a goal down at half time, Paul Dickoff of all people, and came back to win it 2-1 and see out the season invincible. Walked out of the ground that day. I don't think I could have believed it would be another 21, 22 years before we did it again. So, gutted. There's been a lot of water under the bridge. I'm a lot grayer than I was. I get it. Some of the young people have never seen us win anything. Everybody really wants to see us win something. So people like me are happy because I remember 97-98 season where we went to Old Trafford. It was a fortress then. We hardly ever, I don't think we ever won up there. And Mark Overmars' goal was enough to give us the points on that day, 3 points that day that ultimately, well, that season we did the double. Then, of course, there's 2002 where a lone Sylvain Wiltord goal at Old Trafford actually sealed the title at Old Trafford. And they can't say that about the Emirates or Highbury. So we won the league at their ground in 2002 with a 1-0 win. And I honestly don't remember anyone complaining. But today's 1-0 win, not just going to make the top level gooners or the mutants, whatever you want to call yourselves, or have to be called by other people who seek to divide our fan base for no reason I can fathom. But they, obviously, top gooners, mid gooners, we're all happy. But so, in fact, are the bottom gooners. Today, bottom gooners are delighted because 3 points, it's still a shit performance. Everything's still shit. So we can all agree that today should be a celebration. We could all be in a good mood, all except possibly Man United fans who I think really acquitted themselves well. But it's the same old problems for them, isn't it? They didn't play terribly against Tottenham in the final. Well, they kind of did. They lost, but they didn't score. They just don't seem to be able to score. And listen to Roy Keane, will put you in a bad mood as a Man United fan almost every time. So look, thank you for being here. There's lots to talk about. Personally speaking, it was a dreadful game. I thought that there were some weak performances. Perhaps not enough of a change to really inspire the confidence I think I would like to see us have going into this season. If we are going to win the title, we do have to win away at Old Trafford. We've got an absolute beast of a run coming up anyway. Away to Liverpool's our next away game. We do have Leeds in the interim. Hopefully we can get a victory against them. They play tomorrow night against Everton. But we need to see something a bit different. We do need to see something a bit different. Disappointing performances across the board today. I think David Raya was the man of the match. I don't think Odegaard played as badly as everyone else seemed to see him playing as. I think he tried some forward-thinking things. I think he lost the ball more than he usually does. Is that a sign that he's a bit less intimidated? But Martinelli, not that Madueke came on and filled himself with, but Madueke, no. Martinelli, no. Why are we not signing? Eze seems like the obvious bet. the idea that he might go to Tottenham scares me. I'm seeing the little numbers go up on the comments. So I'm just going to rattle through some comments and we can get right into it. But thank you for being here and thank you for being so vocal. Lucky Singh with a comment. This was from a while ago. Hope you are here. But fortunate win for the Arsenal. Can't really deny that. Your keeper was absolutely bobbins, wasn't he? Don't palm it onto the head of Calafiori. Calafiori knows how to header. Calafiori. Would you have started Calafiori? I kind of was expecting him to start. I know it wasn't a given, but he scored the goal. He scored the winner. And he does tend to pop up with goals. Not sure how we looked defensively in that first half. We were so wide open at times. I know it's a big pitch, but... so Amad Diallo, Harry Maguire, Cunha Mbuemo, Diego Dalot could have we gone even more left shot, love aggressive, ball steal back of them there gave... that's a lot. That I think was written in a moment of fit of pique. Let's see if the next comments only had last touch, should have had something through his game. Their goalkeeper saved their bacon. David Ray with a couple of brilliant saves, actually. I thought Cunha looked outstanding, and that's the other thing. Like, why didn't we go for Cunha? He's a decent player on that side. Let's rest up, guys. I'm proud. Maybe we could further let on. The keeper press was spot on against them. I know it's tough. You do need to give your team time to gel. But Lucky Singh, great to have you here. Cunha, Diego Dalot, Amad Diallo, Mason Mount. Mason Mount, actually, I thought looked really good. Surprised he started. What did we think of Šeško? Who do we think was better out of Šeško and Gyökeres? Not sure Gyökeres should be judged on that. And the thing is, how much is Arteta playing to the crowd right now? Would he naturally have started Havertz but felt like he had to start Gyökeres? It's okay to give a player time to get in. I mean, some of his touches were a little bit dodgy, weren't they? And Kai Havertz is better technically. Is there a way to play both of them? I suppose that's the key question. Kermit's middle finger, ribbit. Let's all laugh at Man U. Shited. Could not beat a below par Arsenal. Ribbit. This is a very good point. We were below par. You do need to win these games when you're below par. But you know what? Let's be honest about it at the same time. We were below par, and it was the one thing I really wanted us not to do is get a goal and then defend it. We need to push on and get second and third goals because last season was 14 draws. And this is how it would only take him one lucky deflection for them to get a goal. They had chances. So 1-0 is not necessarily a result I can ever hate because it's 1-0 to the Arsenal. But I really don't want to see us hanging on. I want to see us pressing on. Great to see you, by the way, Kermit. Idris Adam, how are you doing? I'm very well, thank you. Right, here we go. Hi, Dan. Now, Mob Boss, big up. Massive elevations to you. Idris Adam, you're a superstar. You know, I can't deny it. I am I hope you're not. I am fuming. Hi, everyone. Happy with the win. Bloody hell. Well, that's a contradiction in terms. Happy with the win. Happy with the points. It's 38 games this season. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Just all I needed was the 3 points today. I predicted a draw. So we're 2 points further ahead than I thought we would be. But I am reluctant to come out with a season prediction until I've seen all the teams. I have seen all. I don't think Everton, Leeds are going to be two of the teams I need to judge. So we can talk about that again today as well. But Arsenal won. Null. Idris Adam typing a little quickly there for himself. Malia, big up, boss man. All legends in chat. Close with today. Take the points and move on. No one ever. I don't remember in '98 anyone going, yeah, but when you went at Old Trafford, it wasn't a very good game. Liverpool may not get 3 points at Old Trafford. Man City may not get 3 points at Old Trafford. It's not necessarily, I don't think, going to be an easy place to go this season. Glad to get out of the way. Glad we don't have to do that. Glad we got the 3 points. Delighted we got the 3 points. Malia, we weren't the best and still won. I'm happy with that. Exactly. Arsenal Calafiori. Arsenal are linked with Luis Bendetti. Oh, don't know about that. Luis Bendetti again. Ribbit from Kermit's middle finger. Question. Marlon Brando could have been a contender in what iconic 1954 crime drama? It's on the waterfront. You changed the video. I did. I changed it today. I play the... there's the one I can't play as the intro music. It's too long. And Tuesday Club has its own one. Sunday doesn't have one yet. So maybe play it at the end, if everybody's okay with that. The Gooner is a legend, etc., etc. Jubimendi, I'm going to pronounce it. Sean, good to see you, my son. You are my favourite person, and that is a very lovely thing to say. I'd like to believe that. Ribbit, the Big Chase, 1954. It wasn't a big chase, was it? It was on the waterfront, surely. And Hawk, Wind and Fire. Bloody good to see you. Of course, more of that song will be released on the music playlist on the Gooner channel. I'm not happy. Our attack looks terrible. You know, even the Invincibles had bad games. I'm on the fence, aren't I? I'm a mid-Gooner. Can't expect much from me. No, I didn't think we looked good. I didn't think Gyökeres, to be honest with you, Zubimendi didn't look like he was ready for that kind of game. It is a massive place to go. Our record before Arteta took over was like no wins in 17 years at Old Trafford. I mean, at the end of Arsene Wenger's time, it was a horror show up there, wasn't it? So I'm not happy with the way our attack looked in this game. You'd be mad if you were. Gyökeres barely found a pass. He didn't have a single shot. I mean, the reason we signed him was because he takes shots from wherever, but not today. And that is a problem. It comes down to how you view the world. Do you think that this is it? This is what it's always going to look like? Or do you think that we might have better days? But whatever you think about our performance, the 3 points are in the bag. I'm glad with that. And we won. I'm quite happy from Boy Tendio. Exactly. You know, you can't listen to the problem I have is that angry people who just want to be angry are going to be angry. We win and they're angry because we don't win well enough. We play really well. I think they'll be angry because of something else. I don't know what to do about very angry people. They are kind of ruining the enjoyment of football for everyone. But I have found that you can practice good social media hygiene and just avoid them. You know, they are literally only stuck in their rooms and houses. They don't venture out. You don't see them in pubs. You don't see them on the street. So as long as you don't go on their specific places where they congregate like little puddles under rocks, you're not going to be too bothered by them. That white Zubimendi got bullied. And I really don't know how we didn't have more control of that midfield. It is a worry, but I think that the occasion just got to him today. Arsenal win, exactly. So Hawk win, Ribbit, Kermit. In these points that make difference, the amount of draws we had last season decided the title. If we can get points where everyone thinks we're going to lose, then it's all good. Dave the Goat, trust in Sanchez. Doesn't make any sense to me, but welcome, Dave the Goat. Hawk, Ribbit. That does make sense to me, strangely enough. In Sanchez, we trust. Definitely makes no sense to me. Malia, Sanchez till death. I think we're getting a message here. Death, Dave the Goat. Hawkwind, hi everyone, and here he is. It's Gary from Don't Waste the Trip. Bloody good to see you, Gary. Bottom Gooner or top Gooner, just Gooner, man. You know, like that's how it is. It didn't used to be. I will not allow 8 people in their bedrooms who look like they need to go out, see some sunshine for a bit, to dictate what this fan base is and how we refer to ourselves. Just refuse to. They are meaningless people. We are all Arsenal. That's how it is. Hi, Gary. Dan Gees. Hi, Idris Adam. And Galvo. What a debut he had. And a second show has followed since. Another good performance from him as well. Great win. Early days will need to improve in attack, but a win at Old Trafford is hard to come by for us and should be enjoyed. Plus, United fans are extra salty afterwards. If you can't enjoy the performance, you've got to be able to enjoy Man United fans afterwards. That's the whole point, isn't it? Like, how do we get to a place where actually enjoying how upset Man United fans are is made more difficult by people? Ridiculous. Now, Jubimendi, mob boss, he got bullied by the ref. What do you expect at Old Trafford? I don't think he played well. I just felt like my impression was it was the occasion that got to him. I don't think we're going to see him play like that for the rest of his career. Declan Rice wasn't very good today. He was fairly anonymous. Did we make enough substitutions quickly enough? Did we make the right substitutions? What would you have done differently? All of these things we can discuss. Boytendio, there was a time when people would say it was a mark of champions to be able to beat rivals while playing poorly. I'm sure if it was Liverpool versus United today, some people would say Poole did the job. Yeah, they don't have to live up to the same high standards we do they? I mean, like, is there a group of Liverpool fans who toxically run around saying they wish the other half of the fan... Like, first of all, when people like Lee Gunner say wishes the other half of the fan base were nuked, it's not the other half, it's 95%. This notion that we all live in some sort of binary divide like the Sharks and the Jets, like half of us are angry and half of us are happy. It's not. It's the same 8 blokes you see miserably sitting in their basements, probably smelling very badly of piss and vinegar and mostly piss, that want to tell everyone else that they're the problem and they're to blame and blah, blah, blah. So I don't see that at Liverpool. I don't see that at clubs like Man City. Now, obviously, Man City have been winning a lot. But if they go another few seasons without, is this going to happen? Does this just happen now anywhere where you fans congregate? Fandabiruzi. Elton John. I don't think this is that flamboyant, is it? Rosie, I don't think I'm being overly flamboyant. But I'll take it. You know what? I'll take it. Hope everyone's well indeed. Indeed. Hey, Adam, are you well? Ray is a legend. I did it. It was a great save. So he comes from Sweden. The girls are very nice. He dumped his girlfriend to play in red and white. He's scoring goals with a cannon on his chest. His name is Victor Gyökeres. Victor Gyökeres. I do love the fact that he was so determined to come to us. But he does need to work on... Hopefully they'll be able to work on some of the technique side of the game with him, although I'm not sure how much you'd expect him to really pick up now. There was one point running through where the ball got trapped under his feet, and I just thought, I don't think that happens to Šeško. But we will see. To be fair, Šeško coming on, he didn't exactly fill himself with glory. That I think it's just early days, guys. I remember when Bergkamp took 7 games to get settled, and it wasn't until the Southampton home game when he scored and never looked back. Odegaard was better than Rice today. I would agree with that wholeheartedly. Great to see a return to grinding out 3 points. We dropped that last season. We did indeed. I mean, the thing is, right, last season we celebrated snatching a draw from the jaws of defeat at Old Trafford. This season we got 3 points. We're 2 points up on last season. It's the only way you can really look at it. Anyone who wants to spend their time tonight talking about how it was a shit performance and therefore will always be shit is kind of naive and silly, and we're not going to do that. I'm reading it out, but I don't need to. Dave the Goat says, Boytendio UTFC. I'm not young. What does that mean? Rosie! Nate, hope you're well. Ribbit. Rosie. What? Yeah, I don't know either. I'm glad up the fucking trails. They were outstanding today. They were absolutely amazing, mesmeric and wonderful. You know, you really see where the 1-point-something billion has gone when you watch Chelsea, don't you? Really, really outstanding 0-0 draw against Crystal Palace. That they were lucky that the ref decided that. Can I just say this? Eze's free kick should have stood. Not because I hate Chelsea, but because if you're standing shoulder to shoulder with someone who pushes you over, you're just too weak. Push him back. Honestly, it's getting really handbags football, isn't it? Hi, Nathan. Arsenal forever. You're so awesome tonight. Match fitness for Gyökeres. Exactly. Yeah, man. Fuck Chelsea. They were 1 point. I mean, like, seriously, are Chelsea divided like this? Are there loads of Chelsea fans going, I ain't fucking good enough? World Club champions, my ring. Chris Nix with Hey Babes. I imagine 70s music when you come in. I might have to do a little tune there. If you do a watch along for the Leeds game, I'll be able to tell you if we will win the league or not. I am tempted. If Mr. Tom is up for it, I'd love to do it. I don't know if he'd do a watch along. Maybe he wouldn't. I am thinking about it. Very hardly thinking about it. Very hardly thinking about it. I am very seriously thinking about it. Next Saturday at 5:30. It would have been. Do you know what? I wouldn't have been clipped today. When the goal went in, I was like, good. United were the better team today. If it wasn't for United's mistake, it would have been a draw. Arsenal will finish 5th going off that performance. Yeah, going off that performance. That's a silly way to do it, though, isn't it? Going off that performance. Tell you what, why don't you go and have a bet at the bookies that Arsenal finish 5th? Just going off that performance. Put a large amount of money on it because you'll get really good odds. I'm only suggesting because you're so sure. I would say that if you took the Invincibles performance against Portsmouth and you base the entire season of what you think is going to happen off that, you'd have felt like they were going to come fifth as well. Football doesn't work that way, but I'm not going to try and gloss over the fact that I think there are some problems. I do think we have some problems, and I do think that United were more in control today, had more of the possession, they looked more dangerous. They just, when it mattered most, I think Ruben Amorim made some questionable decisions for me. I was surprised how well Casemiro was doing. I think Bruno Fernandes is a very good player. Cunha looked great. There were loads of strong points from them. Could easily have been a 2-1 to Man United. I accept that. But really, you don't, like, this is not how you decide leagues. You don't go, right, we've seen everyone play a game now, so we're going to assign your positions based on how we think you'll do. We're going to play the other 37 games. If all 37 games we play as badly as that one, you could well be right. So we won, Rosie. Do you know how much these United fans were talking? Actually, they really were. I wasn't seeing it because we've only got Singh in here, and he's a really sensible person. Lucky was being quite magnanimous all the way through, but I did watch Deluded do some chats with Rants and Saeed, and they were super confident. And are they now? No. This is what it comes down to. Do you know what I mean? It's all these people, like even there, when Mac was saying, if we play like this, people always want to predict everything. They just want to tell you that, like, everyone's desperate to be the guy who said it first. I said it first. We're going to come fifth. We're not coming fifth. If you genuinely want to, if you can't be bothered to go to the bookies, get in touch with me. Excuse me. Hiccups. Had a lovely takeaway, but probably ate too quickly. See that email address at the bottom there? Email me if you want to put a sizable bet on Arsenal coming fifth. I will give you slightly less good odds than the bookie. That's how I make my money. But by all means, if you want to get in touch and discuss a gentleman's wager, I'm happy to take a bet on fifth. Mac, if Granny had balls, she'd be my granda. Exactly. If ifs and buts were pots and pans, we would all be tinkers. Hawkwind with gestures. Crystal Palace 0, Chelsea 0. Actually, it was Chelsea 0, Crystal Palace 0, because that was at Stamford Bridge. Great way to start your season, though. I've also watched Marco Pierre White eating bull penis today, so it's been a decent Sunday. What he won't do to get on telly, old Marco, a hell of a cook. Arguably the best cook England ever produced. It's the Arsenal fans giving other Arsenal fans most grief. I know. Man United fans have gone quietly into the night. It's Arsenal fans going, these mutants will be out in force celebrating 3 points. Like, I'm sick of being told by fucking grey old men when I can celebrate when we win at Old Trafford. Never needed them for that. Social joins, yes. Looked like strangers out there. These guys are awful with the final third pass. Yep, they did. To be fair, it wasn't a good game. It was not a good game. Right. So, Mob. Yes, Mob. 3,000 Gooners singing still nearly 2 hours from home whilst you're sat on your ass on the other side of the world. Even if we won 3-0, they'd still be angry. I know, like, you cannot legislate for other people's disappointment in life, Just have fun, enjoy the game. Like, it's okay to go, well, we didn't play that well, but we got the result. Everyone knows they'd have done it if it was the other way around. If Man United, like when Newcastle came to the Emirates, I'm not talking about the League Cup in the league. When any teams come to us and get a result, however they got it, they celebrate it. Oh, we're a really massive club. We're not allowed to be fucking happy. Social joins. Hey, mate. Hope you're well. Galval, they didn't play in midfield. They just went wide early. They did. They went wide early and successfully. We've got to be able to do something about that. I don't know. Calafiori was quite high up the pitch a lot of the time. I thought Ben White was a bit off. We have a strong bench. He made lots of changes. I don't know. Saka still looks tired. It wasn't great. I don't think any of our outfield really had a great game, but who cares? We won 3 points. That's not me saying everything's great and we're going to be amazing. Obviously, if we get a draw against Leeds or we don't play any better against Leeds, we'll have a different conversation. But for tonight, I think the conversation needs to be 3 points. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the 3 points, Shited. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much. Red card penalty. Nah, it wasn't a penalty. Well, the Saliba, it wasn't a penalty. Red card penalty. Brilliant take on that. What were you watching it through? Are you drunk? That would explain it. Happy with that win. Unusually poor in transition with so many loose balls and turnover of possession, but overall massive win. Most teams lose or draw. Defense stood firm. They did. We looked defensively strong again. I think for me, going into the match, my hope and expectation is that we would show something different, that we'd surprise some people. I can't really say that anything that Arteta did today in the lineup surprised me. I was expecting Calafiori. Maybe Timber I was expecting, but it's not such a big, it's not such a big surprise if we played Ben White instead of Timber. I think it was because we wanted, when Calafiori inverted, we wanted the 3 centre-backs. Kind of works. It's nothing new, though. Gyökeres did try and stay forward. I mean, he didn't have a shot. This is a worry but then he took him off. I've seen some people saying he couldn't wait to take him off. It's like, well, that's what you're supposed to do when players aren't playing well. Maybe I think we probably all disagree on Odegaard. I thought Odegaard was at least trying things today. He had successful dribbles, some nice touches. Didn't really work for him, but he's still better than I've seen him. So I personally be sad if you don't break non-breaking news at him. Yeah, I think we all would. The Aussies came back and beat my Springboks. All credit to them for not folding, unlucky for All Blacks. So now there won't be any complacency at all before the match. Don't know what any of that means. Sorry, it's rugby to me. The referee was poor every time he strengthened apart from PGML, it seems. Every team was strengthened apart from PGML. I love that. To be honest, there's a leniency. I didn't think he made any terrible decisions. I will say, on a side note, I would just really love to see us not appealing for so many things from referees when we know we're not getting them. We're waiting for too much help. I want us to be more of a fighting team just to go into these games and not need fouls for or against, to be honest with you. So, Malia, just a side note. Sidebar. Thanks, Rosie. I pop in here every now and again. Yes, you do. Just a side note, the Chelsea game was so poor that rule about the free kick was so harsh. Ridiculous. I haven't seen that before either. And honestly, I can't remember who was the commentator. It was like that said in the post-match, the pundit who said, it really feels like VAR just exists to strike off goals. You can't listen if 2 men are standing and one barges into the other one. They're both standing start, like, push back, stand up, get out of the way. I don't know, it just annoyed me. Where was Rice playing? That set was bad, gaps everywhere. I mean, you know what? It wasn't by any stretch of the imagination. No one could say that was a good game for Declan Rice. And I don't know why it went wrong for him today. He's as it's like, when Mac was in here earlier, if we play like that all through the season, we're going to finish 5th. So if Declan Rice plays that all through the season, he's going to lose his England place, isn't he? But he's not. That's the basic bottom line of it, isn't it? I don't know what happened to Declan Rice today. Could you put it down to Titus? He was really ineffective. Barely touched the ball. Not accurate enough with his passing. Not winning any duels at all. Giving the ball away almost as much, a third of the amount of time he passed it. It's just a really bad performance from Declan Rice. They were looking at it. The one thing I was really confident about was that they would not win that midfield battle. Yeah, it just shows you what I know, doesn't it? They absolutely did win the midfield battle. Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro. I didn't think a lot of Dalot and Dorgu, but Cunha through the middle. I mean, there was more than enough defending to be done. Who did you make your man of the match, by the way? It had to be David Raya, didn't it? I'd say David Raya. You could give it to Calafiori scoring a goal. Don't expect left-backs to do that, really. Right, so I'm a United fan, and I'm not silly at all. I think we played really well, and it's something to look forward to against lesser teams that don't have great defence like us do. I will say this. I hope Ruben Amorim... I was not a fan of Erik ten Hag, and when I said he should go, lots of people told me I was mad. I I do think that Ruben Amorim could do with being a little less inflexible when it comes to his, setup. But with the right players, look, you've definitely strengthened. Cunha is a really strong player. Buemo looks really good. And I think a lot of Šeško. And it'd be silly for me to sit here and say, I honestly do think that Šeško is a great player and you've done really well. I mean, look, Man United have a season ahead of them where they don't have to play in Europe. They've managed to get these players across the line even without that. You had some key injuries today, some players missing. When I think Man United, I think people are going to be surprised. There's all of this kind of toxic attitude to Arsenal where people say we couldn't even beat lowly Man United. And I was like, this is going to be a top 10. So I know I'm not trying to damn with faint praise, but I think Man United are going to be strong this season. I really do. I think you've got a really good chance. Sharks and Jets, West Side Story, one of my favorite musicals. There aren't that many to choose from. There's only a few good musicals. And Buemo is a very good player, but he gets away with quite a lot. I remember him getting away with a bit of Brentford. Oh, how bad do Brentford look now, by the way? Very poor. Well, we kind of expected it as well. You lose everyone and you suddenly get worse. It's only online. I played 90 minutes on Friday. Nobody went into the basement rants. Yeah, it really is. Just there's, you get into. I am guilty of this. I'm probably more than anyone. I got called Oscar de Grouch. I literally Shane Gooner had been in here, and I literally went onto his channel to see what he was like and what he was all about. And I shit you not, I turned on to a stream, and it was him quoting me for the video I did about Mikel Arteta as Kim Jong-il, and he was literally saying this idiot doesn't even realise that he's cast Mikel Arteta as a dictator, and I was like, well, of course I do. That's the whole point. The whole point was me making fun of Mikel Arteta, that he was a dictator, that he is dictatorial, that he's too stubborn. That's the whole joke, right? So how can I have not? I'm making the joke. Anyway. So I thought, he's got the wrong end of the stick. Then he went on saying right at the end, he asked the God if there are any more fans like that, and he says, "No, I think all the other fans love you, sir," and they don't. And he's like, "God, you're dense." I think I told him that I thought he was thick as mince. But he basically, I was like, the whole point is at the end, his guard has just seen him feed someone to a trout and the head's bobbing up in the water. And when he asks him if the rest of the fans love him, the guard lies to him and says, "Yes, I think they all love you." It's a joke. I'm parodying Mikel Arteta more than I am Lee Gunner. But they don't see it because they just want to be angry with someone. And so when you get to this point, I was like watching. Then there was another time he called me Oscar de Grouch. And then there was another thing he said to me about another comment I'd made. And I don't know the guy, and I'm really glad of it because he looks a little bit like someone turned the colour down on the telly, He looks a little bit grey. I had to sit through him saying, second is first loser. And I just thought, I wonder what you've ever won. But anyway, there is this small cabal of people. They all know each other and they all rant and shout and they're angry with the rest of us. They're angry if we're having fun. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have some fucking fun. Here's to you. And also, I do love that he called me Oscar Grouch. It's my favourite Sesame Street character. But how am I grouchier than this guy? Anyway, so it is only the basement, the piss-smelling basements, to the tune of Push It by Salt and Pepper. Down at the way end buzzing. What were they singing? To the tune of Push It by Salt and Pepper. I love it. Shows how old they are, doesn't it? Mac, United did indeed play well. This game was a bit of an anomaly, being first game of the season with players still finding fitness pattern unlikely to play out in remaining games. Half volley, 1886, of course. You don't want to read everything into the first game of the season. Only a Wally would do that. Šeško came on, 6'5", didn't see anything. Yeah, he's had a week with the team. He will be a good player. And I think that Ruben Amorim has found the players he likes now. I do feel bad for Rasmus Højlund. I think he got a lot more shit than he deserved for having played in a team that wasn't very good. God, I don't know how I'm miles behind. Thank you for all your comments. I'm going to race through now so I don't miss anyone out. Was it fun? Did you go by train or bus? True social, but I still preferred him. Yeah, same. Are we doing a quiz tonight? Idris Adam. I'm trying to get through these. Mesmeric isn't used anywhere near enough. Mesmeric. It's an Austrian that gave us that name. Anton Mesmer. True story. Look that up. He used to practice hypnotism, which was named after him. I feel had United scored first, we would have stepped up a gear and equalised. They were good, but not cohesive enough to mount steady pressure. This will take time. I think you're right on that. But I did say variously on different chats before the match, God, I hope we don't get a goal and then just sit on it and defend. That is not the way to win titles. We drew 14 times last season. I think 6 or 7 of them from winning positions. It's not good enough to just score, defend, hope to win. No. I'm worried about Madueke when we're not in possession. Don't worry. Hillsy the Gooner and some Gooner fans on Twitter looked like he had fun. Good. We want Gooners to have fun. Hi, Paul Annis is here. Hi there. I said we would win 1-0. Thought the game was poor for us. Saka and Gyökeres want more time to gel. I'm going to have to check that out, Paul. Did I write down your score prediction? I'm pretty sure, even though you came in quite late last time, and that's not me judging you. Yes, you did. You were the only one who got it right. Massive. I said 2-1. Only Miss Melina went for a draw, but we'll forgive her. She's brilliant. Watch her stuff whenever you can. Richard Andrews went for a draw. Lucky Singh said a draw, but we can forgive that. He is after all Man United. Chelsea extremely poor today. It was really bad, wasn't it? Hubi Mendy, yeah, I was worried how bad he looked defensively. Ahmad was skipping past him for fun. Martinelli, for all his faults, isn't that porous defensively. No, he had a couple of moments defensively. At the moment, he's doing more defensively than going forward. We had multiple breaks, and our final third ball was poor. They don't train to score goals. That's clear. It's 12-year-old level mistakes. It does feel a little bit like, yeah, we're solid and we defend well, but like, I want Eze. Why can't we get Eze? Do I have to have a tantrum? Do you think that would help? Chelsea fans are more united and holding high standards. They fight, but not as diametrically opposed. Top Gooners and bottom Gooners can't stand each other. Here's Bob. I'm going to shock you now. I've done listen. I can tell you this, man. Top Gooners don't even know bottom Gooners exist. Really, just don't. Like, they don't interact with them. They don't, because it's very hard. You know, when I hear people like Shane or Jez or Lee Gunner talking about standards and meaning ways, they don't do anything, do they? They don't do anything. They just sit in their underpants talking shit. It's really easy to avoid them. Like, I will not be checking out any of those streams. I will not go on any of those streams. I don't care. Some people just want to be angry with their lives. You know, I don't know. I'm looking at them thinking, you lot don't look like winners to me. Maybe in the Chelsea, there aren't as many fans. I could put it down to that. But, you know, maybe this idea that diametrically opposed gives us a false sense of equilibrium, right? Because I genuinely think, Mob, from things you've said before, that you think there's a balance, that there's this many people who are happy with today's result and this many people who are unhappy because they need change. And whenever I do a poll, whenever there is a poll, it's never 50-50 on the hate levels. It's always coming from one particular place. And you're entitled to hate whatever you want. But it gets boring for most people after a couple of minutes. Can I please just email you for the lols? Of course you can. I thought Arteta's subs were well-timed and hooking Rice was a brave decision. Pretty sure Calafiori would have walked for a second yellow if the ref was given. Yeah, there was some... I thought he did all right with the subs. I'm not going to pretend I was... Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think anyone came on did well. I was glad he used all 5 substitutes. Nolly Madueke looked a bit out of his depth. Kai Havertz had his moments. Miles Lewis-Skelly, for me, looked more likely to go than Calafiori did, and he was only on for 28 minutes or for 18 minutes. So Miles Lewis-Skelly's got he's got something in him where you just don't want to risk him anyway. Russ, the performance was concerning. Lol. I am a grey old man. I'm a grey old man, but I'm in a good mood. Not all grey old men are grumpy bastards, curmudgeonly. I am a happy one. But fuck you anyway. Mutants, what the heck did we become X-Men? I did, yes. My superpower is avoiding mutants. Yeah, it's obvious we didn't play well, but the players haven't even turned for the next training session yet. Enjoy the win. Exactly. Why can't we enjoy the win? How dare other people tell us we can't enjoy the win? What do they think football's become as well? One of these things is like we're going, we're top fans because we get really upset if we lose. But not everyone gets upset when they lose. no, it really tears me up. So get a life. Have something else that occupies you. Get a wife and some children, maybe a job. I don't know, some real shit to go on in your life, something to happen to you. Maybe do something where you have some control over it. Being a football fan is something you don't control when you win or lose. You want to say you do, but I hear all these people talking about how, they're going to protest. In fact, I heard Shane talking about how what had changed now was that people didn't protest like they did under, at the end of George Graham era. No one protested. He was sacked. It was a shock. I was at the game. Everyone was gutted and surprised. There was no need for a protest. The protests at the end of the Arsene Wenger era were very kind of like modern millennial protests, weren't they? I'm just really unhappy. Didn't do anything. Like when you didn't turn up to watch Frankfurt play at the Emirates, that's what got rid of Unai Emery. If you want to protest, just don't turn up to the matches. If you find that your protest is unsuccessful because people still go, maybe no one gives a shit what you think. That would probably be my assessment of it. That's what I say, bro. I want to be an X-Men too. We are all X-Men here. The word is used regularly, social joins by Arsenal fans toward other Arsenal fans. I fucking hate that. I hate like one of the things that I love is about this country, people talk about the spirit of the Blitz. Can you imagine if the bombs are falling and Europe has fallen and the person next to you is going, this is stupid. It's all these other people that are causing the Luftwaffe to drop bombs on us. It's that kind of level of stupidity. Were Arsenal good? No. Do I care? Absolutely not. Come on, you Gunners. United in the mud. Thank you, Spacetime 34. You are in the right place. Most definitely, I feel the same. I felt the same in 97, 98. Couldn't give a shit how good the game was. We needed 3 points. We got them. Didn't give a fuck in 2002 when Will Tord scored the only goal of a very scrappy game that meant we won the league at Old Trafford. No one cares how good or bad a game is if you get the 3 points. Now, had we played outstandingly well, I mean, really well, like Pele's Brazil in 1970, but lost 1-0, none of these angry people would have given us a pass for it. They wouldn't have gone, well, you know what? Usually I rant and I spew bile and bullshit, but now I'll give credit where it's due. No. So I don't see why I have to. I can say I thought we played like dog shit, but we got the 3 points. I can say I'm disappointed that we set our stall out to defend a 1-goal lead, but we got the 3 points. At the end of the season, the 3 points will matter. They're just handing out mutant titles and skipping me. No, I'm sure you've been caught in some crossfire there, haven't you? As well, Hubi Mendy, Roy Keane and Gary Neville both think we're going to win the league this year. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Ref took a while to give the goal. I wonder what was on his mind. Just a lot happened. I mean, to me, it will have been the fact that he might have been wondering if there was anyone interfering with the keeper who's just shit. Was it Blind Deer? How do you say his name? I've seen it said so differently. I have absolutely no idea how to say it. Bain Deer, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Bain Deer. I have no idea how to say this guy's name, but I don't think I'll need to learn because he ain't going to stick around. I mean, he's made someone who can make Nana look good, huh? We're obviously not in good shape, but that ain't my job. You'll get better, but 3 points over Peckham Reds every day. Abso-fucking-lutely, social joys. Absolutely. Where is main people like Zanzi and Sam Greenwood? I don't know. Odegaard actually had one of his better games and worked very hard. I'm really glad you said that. All I've heard is that everyone thinks he was shit. I'm deeply disappointed in our midfield. We think Zubimendi, Declan Rice and Odegaard would have had Casemiro and Fernandes on toast. They didn't. That's an odd one for me. I know, like we were saying earlier, or someone, I can't remember who it was, said earlier they were playing round us. That's true, but we couldn't keep. The thing is, when we play like we did today, we act like the last thing we'd want to do is have control of the ball. So we were heading it away, which I hate because it never goes to one of ours, and we were kicking it away. And we got 3 points. I think Gyok should have stayed on till 80 minutes. To be honest, I would have given him 30 minutes against Leeds. I wonder if he'll start with. I think he will. I think Gyok is going to have a good time against Leeds, better than he did. I mean, also look, I didn't think the starting lineup. When I looked at Manchester United's starting lineup, De Ligt, Luke Shaw, and Yoro. I know they're playing 5 at the back, really, but Dorgu and Dalot. I'm not convinced about defensively either. You would think that this would have been a better performance up front from us. It just wasn't. Anyway, so Gyökeres isn't Giroud, but our players kept trying to play into him with his back to goal. Just isn't his game. Yeah, he doesn't hold the ball up as well as Kai Havertz. I think that's going to surprise a lot of people. It's not his game. He should be running into space. Absolutely. He's very good with back to goal. Actually, I don't think he's that good with his back to goal. I really don't. Not from any of the clips I've seen playing in Portugal. But then, I will get to know him as an Arsenal player. Our players looked unfit. Rice stopped running in the second half. Rice is ill, apparently. Okay. Hey! Miss Melina, how you feeling? Are you well? Did you enjoy it? Of course you did. See? Right. Boy Tendia. Rice played where he always plays. The more sophisticated our approach play gets, the more he's likely to struggle unless we get a very clever left-wing player or frankly move Saka to left wing. That's not happening. I'm not saying, no, it's not happening. It just isn't happening. Literally isn't happening. But why did you say that? And also, it doesn't look like we're getting an intelligent left winger. And I mean, unless there's been an update, I had dinner and so I didn't check the news. I watched a little bit post-match. Apparently, we're looking to sign other players now and not Eberechi Eze. The Sun had said that Eze wasn't going to play today. No, they don't always get it right, do they, journalists? Space Time said something that so our players looked unfit. Rice stopped running in the second half. Well, that's true. And I think that's what Space Time, you're right, but the same is true of most other teams too. United are a good team this season, to be honest. They will finish 8th or better unless Amorim really fluffs it. I completely agree. Not for the first time, Boy Tendio. I completely agree with you. Ribbit, Miss Melina. United ain't getting beat easily this season, that's for sure. They have enough firepower to push some teams back. I completely agree. Player performance accountant. Hello, it's bad performance. I am fuming. Don't be. You can't be fuming every time it's bad performance. It does you no good. And actually, if you are fuming, enjoy it. Shane Gooner has gone mad. I didn't know him before. I know Kyle knows him. Kyle's a good guy. I just don't know where did people get so much hate for other people? I mean, how deluded did you have to be? No offense, DG. How stupid do you have to be to kind of go, my team's not playing as I wish they would. Who could possibly be to blame? Let me think. It's the other fans, dickhead. United will need to revert to a back four at some point, 3-5. It's like they need a sick. It is a little bit like the managers won't change their system, do end up losing their jobs or getting relegated. We need more parodies. We do need to parody the parodies as well. I have another one coming. It's a field trip with troops and Turkish. It's probably out this week. I don't know if it'll be as funny. I enjoy making them. Madueke almost made it 2-0 towards the end. I know, almost. God, how did he not? How did he not score that? How did he not? I mean, it was, he should have scored that. The Madueke scores that on his debut at Old Trafford. He becomes a bit of a hero. On such moments do lives turn. Exclusive. If you've cut and pasted this, it's not exclusive. Eberechi Eze. To me, in 2018, when at QPR, I'm an Arsenal fan. I love this club and Thierry Henry. I hope they win the league. I would never join Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah, but didn't Maddison do something similar? Like, honestly, he wants to go and play football. He wants Champions League football. Tottenham can offer him that. It looks like we don't want him. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why we don't want Eberechi Eze. I think he is exactly the kind of player. I know he's not an out-and-out left-sided player, but we do have out-and-out-sided left-sided players. Did that make sense? I don't know. I'll leave it up to you. Maybe gloss over it. But I just think he gives us something a bit different. There's something that unexpected, the creative. Has Zanzi locked himself in the cellar? I don't know. I haven't heard from him yet. Shane Gooner has lost the plot. Normally he's on spot on about Arsenal. There's a hole you dig yourself into, though. I mean, now, he's in a community of people. He gets likes from people who are just as angry as him. He feeds that need. There's only so far you can take that, though. The one thing I do wonder about with him, and I know very little about him because I watched him for a bit and he was slagging me off and I didn't enjoy it. I don't need to surf YouTube to be slagged off. I can stay at home and get it. But the thing that I find really troubling about people like that is, who do you celebrate with if we win the league? Because none of us are going to want to celebrate. Like, who if you're wrong. Imagine if it turns out one of these pricks is wrong and we end up winning the league with Arteta. They're not part of it anymore. You spend so much time hatefully mocking people around you. There's no need for him to go in at me, is there? It's not going to make his life any better. It's not going to make his team any better. I'm going to tell you what, it'd be a really fucking dark day for Arsenal Football Club if they've ever got me on the pitch. So why attack our fellow fans? That's the one thing you don't do as a supporter. You don't, you stand together or you're divided and you fall together. It's just as simple as that. When you know your standards in certain aspects, I watched the post-match comment. What did we think of Odegaard being accosted at half-time? I mean, fucking stop it. Like, he should be in the dressing room talking to the players, not me. I did say 2-2 was way off the mark. Rosie had 4-1 United, though. I did write that down, actually. The team looked poor in attack today, so most are going to have a field day with it, but we kept a clean sheet. Yeah, and they have a field day with it until the next game, where we play really well against Leeds. And most people are somewhere in the middle, aren't they? Most people are like, they can admit when we've had a good game, admit when we've had a bad game, but it doesn't matter how well you've played if you win. It really doesn't. Tottenham didn't play outstandingly well against Man United in the cup win in the Europa Cup, and they still celebrated it. This is a cup, no trophy, no silverware. You don't win anything for winning at Man United. It's like, fucking hell. If you are literally, imagine being in a relationship with someone who's perennially this moody. Like some of you might be. No offense, but if your husband or wife is this angry every single time, even when good things happen, run for the hills. And this is what happens. These guys sit around going, why doesn't anyone listen to me? What? And then they found YouTube, and the YouTube internet has this brilliant way of putting people together with other people who are just as fucking noxious as them, and they all think they're normal until they end up in my pub. Because I was thinking, do you know what? I do chomp a little bit when people are saying shit like that to me. I was thinking, I fucking double dare you to say that to me in a fucking octagon. But we're not doing that. I think a lot of people are doing a lot with the Zubimendi analysis. Diallo had a chance to blow by everyone during that game. Could it have been that he's just a good player and he's a handful? Yeah. I think for me, whatever you can take from just, like your own analysis, it felt to me, and I'm not saying this is scientific, this isn't data driven, but it felt to me a little bit like the occasion got to Zubimendi. I can imagine that. Lucky Singh, hey, Emma Diallo, Patrick Doru, Mason Mount. Mason Mount, I thought played really well. Good to see you, Lucky. Calafiori is a hero and knows how to party. Ziki too. Zirkzee. Is that? Where was Max Down today? Not in the squad. And Anthony also put in the group chat, Norgard's coming on in a minute, and it's never hard to tell him that he wasn't in the squad either. So Max Dowman couldn't come on. In fact, I think Trossard's on his way, isn't he? Because he didn't get any game time as well. Ethan Wanyeri is possibly the only player that you might have thought would come on and get some game time. But Martin Odegaard, I didn't think was playing that badly, and I'm not the only one. There are smart people here who think that too. I think bottom gooners are the truest evidence that Wenger spoiled us in those last final years at Highbury. I know I think that's something that that I caught some flack for as well, for saying that, look what's happened to us. All these people who joined our club because A, they think they're doing us a favour by being Arsenal fans, and B, they think they have some idea. And this is what I'm saying. Shane was talking about how there used to be protests. Come on. Any of you remember protests about Wenger? Not about George Graham, sorry. He was talking about how when it went wrong in the 70s, there were protests. People didn't protest in the fucking 70s. There's enough to deal with 3-day weeks, unemployment, fucking terrorism. Grown-ups behaved like grown-ups in the 70s. So this idea that there used to be protests when a manager was doing badly is just horse shit. I've never heard of that. And I went to all the games, so never saw one. It certainly wasn't a George Graham protest, which is one of the things that Shane said, which makes you think, fairly recent fan, I take it, eh? Someone who doesn't maybe go to a lot of games. Bullshit fucking protests. Protests are weak anyway. You want to protest, don't turn up to the matches. That's the protest. Don't watch it. Don't buy anything. Money talks and bullshit walks. And that's that. Did you see Yardman wasn't happy today at Old Trafford? Clip him happy one day. Just clip him happy. We beat Atletico Bilbao 3-0. He wasn't happy. We go away to Old Trafford and win, and he's not happy. Some people are just not happy. They're not happy in their lives, and they make this the reason. Instead of doing something about their own lives, it's easier to sit in a basement in your underpants and complain about people. Dalman was never going to play against United. Yeah, he wasn't in the squad. Zombie! Yes, ecstatic. Great to see you, Zombie. Thank you for being here. Did you see the yard mail? I've just read that. Silly me. Miss Melina, massive elevations. Hope you know when you're getting old, when your bollocks float along with your pecker in the bath. Nothing floats anymore. Lucky seeing here, mate. Hope you're well. Did you see halftime interview? I did. Fucking silly. Please stop doing them. Please, please, please stop doing halftime interviews. And certainly don't do them with our players. Do them with Man United players. I want to hear how Bruno Fernandes feels about the fact they're a goal down. Diallo, you keep listing players. Mason Mount, Luke Shaw, rest up for the next game. I thought you guys played well, Lucky. Arguably the better of the two sides. We have the 3 points. You don't need them. I am going to do a watch along next Saturday for the Leeds game, I'm pretty sure. Unless, Miss Melina, unless you're doing one. I don't want to step on any toes. I'm not very good at them. To be fair, I also think we're winning the league this year. Just need one more observation from Leeds. One more observation from us, I think. Winning league this year, just need one more observation from Leeds. Turkey player. What the fuck? We should gone even more left side shot. Who do I think played well for you? I would say Cunha. I mean, there are moments. The thing is, the first time I remember thinking, oh, he's a player, was against Old Trafford. Was against Man United at Old Trafford, the game that you got really lucky and won with I think it was a dodgy penalty that shouldn't have been. But Cunha was running through the middle of Ten Hag's side like you didn't have a midfield, and he was doing it to us today. There's just something about that Brazilian skill, isn't there? Mbuemo and Cunha looked really good. I don't think Šeško's ready. I thought Mason Mount looked good, but obviously what is it with Mason Mount? I tell you what, Ruben Amorim loves him, doesn't he? Like he'd not play for ages and then chuck him in, like in the final. 3 points at Old Trafford is so much more than a win. It's also a loss for Man United. I know, but it's not the same as it was, is it? They don't need what are they going to do with 3 points anyway? I have to say, I've never been one of those Arsenal fans that truly hates Man United. Even when they were our big rivals, I've always had a lot less love for Tottenham and for Chelsea, and that's just how it is with me. I'm trying to think if I dislike any other team. I recently started to dislike Newcastle, but that's different. I am happy for Sunderland. West Ham, dear oh dear. Aggressive ahead, ball, barge players. Love it. Diallo, Cunha, Diego Diallo, Luke Shaw. You keep listing the names of players. You don't need to. I know who played. Don't think it's worth analysing our midfield against Man United, not with Amorim playing his 3-4-2-1 ugliness. Fair point. Leeds will provide us better data. Okay, I understand that. I'm very much hoping that's a more comprehensive victory as well. Okay. We've got some a religious comment in the chat. That's great. One more of those and I will throw you out. And you know what? I think that's how God wants it. I think Saka would be excellent left wing. Have thought about it for at least a year now. Definitely better than on right wing. Can we get some votes on that? I don't know. I'm keeping an open mind, but I don't think it's going to happen though. Arsenal cauliflower defense and goalkeeper saved them a lot. That's what defense is supposed to do. Like, you don't get twisted. Well, that's what it's about. That's what we're there for. Good call, Idris Adam. Maybe Rodrigo might still happen. Maybe. Glazer's out. Let's keep fighting for... Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, Man United got so much more to complain about than we have. Oh, yeah, by the way, I've been celebrating all weekend because my son got into the university he wanted to. So tonight's show is indeed... I know I'm off the booze. Please don't remind me. But tonight's show is sponsored by Star Reframing, an unofficial unsponsor of the Gooner channel. Arteta Gyökeres did a lot of very good things. I'm happy. Oh, this is Arteta. Don't quote Arteta. We all watched it. How goalkeeper Reyes saved a lot. Yeah, brilliantly as well. But you know what? Lucky, I'm going to just say this because you need to know it. That's why you have a goalkeeper. You know, he's there exactly for that. I mean, it's not why Man United have a goalkeeper. You have a goalkeeper because the circus is in town. But we have a goalkeeper because if Mbeumo wants to have a shot on goal, there needs to be someone who's allowed to use their hands. Oh, I love winding up Man United. Getting a win in your first game is a very good start. Doesn't get any better than that. You know, no one measures the results. Idrissa Dam makes a very good point. Cunha, what need to do cut far right? Yep. Dan, congratulations on your win. Thank you, Lucky. See, this is what I mean. Real football fans, you know what it's like. The Guna, laughter emoji. That's from Buka Matikita. Hope have I seen you before? Is this your first time? First time watcher? First time commenter? Lovely to see you. Thank you. Do keep laughing. Yes, your defense and goalkeeper did a brilliant job. Hold your club in the game. Yep. Congratulations to Dan. Thank you so much. I feel like I've given birth or something. Some people need to be called out to have their standards raised. No one gets to... Listen, Mob, how would you feel if I got to decide your standards? How would you feel about that? How would you feel if I was the person responsible for ensuring that you didn't just copy things you've heard other people say? Tough, isn't it? It's easy to have high standards for other people. I'd say just leave us the fuck out of it, right? Like where you're saying here, Shane says it as it is. Usually he says it as he sees it. He has his opinion and he's entitled to his opinion, like he's entitled to his everything else. It's got nothing to do with me. And if he wants to have an opinion on me, he's wasting his time, because I promise you we are never going to interact. It's just not worth it for me. I don't have any interest in how he feels about things. He's just angry, militantly angry. I do not remember a time that he referred to when Arsenal fans protested George Graham, or when Arsenal fans took to the streets in protest of Bertie Mee. Like, it's just Terry Neal. I remember Don Howe and Terry Neal, George Graham, Bruce Rioch, Arsene Wenger, Unai Emery, in between a couple of caretaker managers. I'm thinking Freddie Ljungberg particularly. And, you know, and after that, Stuart Houston, of course, famously. After that, none of them got protests. We had protests in the stadium, and AFTV would vocalise the protests of people who wanted Wenger out. And look, they're the same ones now that want Arteta out. The same people who are angry at how shit Arteta is are probably really say, you know what it is? Saying it as it is usually just being a tactless prick. But also, that's fine. Say whatever you want. Like, but are you saying that he's saying that the Arsenal fans are to blame, and that's any credibility to that statement whatsoever? How the fuck am I to blame for our drought of championships when I've seen more of them than Shane? Like, maybe he's to blame. Maybe we didn't win anything since fans started going all Arteta out. Maybe we didn't win anything since people started going all Wenger out. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe the players are in the dressing room after the match watching Shane going, fuck, I don't want to win for this prick. This League Gunner prick. I don't want to win anything for him. Maybe that's it. Because, you know, the ones that, like when Declan Rice was on here the other day, he asked me to keep it secret, but I'm a blabbermouth. He was like, Dan, I love your content. I love the locals of the Adams Arms, but I don't like all of those fucking moody pricks. And who does? I think as a shine at Spurs, as an Arsenal fan, I'm gutted he's not come to Arsenal. Paul, I agree with you. I don't understand it. Perhaps if I get really cross about it, will it make a difference? Will it? Fuck. So, do you know what I haven't done? In case anyone's interested, I'll probably only do another hour, but you never know. You never know. There you go. If anyone's interested. Glad our team, thank you. So, look, I think I've caught up. Best I've seen Mason Mount play for Man United, very low bar though. Yeah, I've seen him play like 3 times. Which one? He's not gonna set the earth on fire, is he, this one? But is it funny that, like, when we signed Kai Havertz, I wanted Mason Mount more? Obviously, you never know. He might not have got injured if he'd come to us. Definitely feels like Ruben Amorim really likes him, which is good. You know, I suppose the other things to talk about are Ruben Amorim. Is he going to make it? I'll put the fan on. Let me know if this is bad for the sound quality, and I'll pretend to care. Ruben Amorim is, I think, in jeopardy. There's no amount of papering over the cracks at Man United when you look at the people in that squad right now, that they're trying to move on. And I think they do. Listen, this isn't me trying to be funny either. I think Man United do a better job of selling players than Arsenal do. We suck at selling players. Who have we sold so far? We've sold, 2 players? Marquinhos for like a bag of crisps. Who's the other one? I think Albert Sambi-Lokonga's still here, isn't he? Yeah, please stop with the standards narrative. It is boring. Like, it really is, you know? Like, someone's got to keep the standards up. The standards, like, don't need a policeman for standards, all right? If you don't like someone's standards, don't hang around with them. Definitely if you don't like their hygiene standards. If they smell like they've been doing live streams for 10 hours every day and not sleeping much in between and never using a shower, then absolutely encourage them to raise their standards. Boy Tendio says sold Marquinhos and Tavares. That's the other one for chewing gum. Reminds me of George Graham selling Mickey Thomas for not tucking his shirt in. Arsenal's second biggest sale in the history is Nicholas Anelka. That's crazy. It's also not true. We sold Nicky Anelka for 20 million. We sold. I can think of a few players we sold for more than that. That can't be right. In fact, that isn't. Chris, where'd you get that from? Where'd you get that from? Right, let me try and go through it. We sold Eddie Nketiah for more than we sold Nick Anelka for. We sold Emil Smith Rowe for more than we. I mean, we have sold. I always want to call him Neville Chamberlain. Isn't that bad? Oxlade-Chamberlain. We sold. I think isn't he our record signing? Sale. We are shit at selling, though, no doubt. You saw it on a Facebook post. Chris, come on. Double check it. Yeah, I mean, let's type it in now. Let's do it together. Arsenal's highest transfer recoup. Arsenal highest transfer fee recoup. No. Declan. Oh, typical, isn't it? What did we get? Apparently, we got 8 million for. So let's have a look. Accept and continue. Yep. Transfer marked. I love you, but stop with all the fucking. Okay. Don't know. Fee. I don't know. Like. Yeah, it's definitely not right, mate. It's definitely not. Don't believe anything you see on Mark Zuckerberg's platform. You're not right. You can't be right. So how much was Nick Anelka sold for? 20 million, right? Highest transfer fee received by Arsenal. So it's always the amount paid, isn't it? I have found one here. I'm going to be so surprised if it turns out you're right. In fact, I don't know how it could be. I'm being held hostage by the internet now. Do you know what? I probably have too many tabs open. That's what it is. Bear with me. Transfer mark says Anelka second. That can't be right. How much did we get for Anelka? If it's on Facebook, it's factual. Boyten Diaz confirming it. I don't understand them. So what did we get for? We must have got okay, highest transfer of the Ox. Yeah, so Oxlade-Chamberlain, we got 38 million for. Nick Anelka, we got 35 million euros for. I don't remember it being that much, but fair enough. I mean, is that adjusted for? That's adjusted for modern inflation because it wasn't. In David Dean's autobiography, he says it's 20-something million. Definitely. Maybe the euro was a lot lower value. Or that could be it. It could be that the euro was less value back then. All right, okay. Well, fuck that shit. We suck at that. You know what? I might have been wrong, but I was right at the same time, and I like that. I'll take that. We absolutely stink at selling players. I mean, it doesn't look like we'll get more than a bag of chips for Fabio Vieira. I mean, what do you have to do to sell these players? I mean, Reece Nelson's told us he doesn't want to be sold. right? So if Reece Nelson gets to tell us he doesn't want to be sold, I don't know. Is that how it works? Is that how it should work? Like, honest to God. Do you think that's like a Mandela effect that Nick Anelka was 38 million? Because I remember him being 20 million. I'm going to have to, I can only imagine it's something to do with the exchange rate. At the time of sale, I mean, whatever it is, it's still shit, isn't it? Let's be honest. But we got 30-something million for Emil Smith Rowe. We got 30-something million from the sale of Eddie Nketiah. Yep, that's how it works. If Reece don't want to be sold, he won't be sold. Gone are the days where someone like George Graham goes, no, you're getting sold, mate. Listen, I do understand some measure of contract law, and I do understand that you can make it difficult, but really the club owns your license to play, and if they sell it to someone else and that someone else is offering you same or similar salary, you can't really legally turn it down, unfortunately. But one of the things that I think you are seeing agents who are advising their clients to go on strike a lot more than they ever used to, and they are. Isak right now, we saw it with Gyökeres. Players are just saying, I'm not going to play until you move me. And I think part of the reason for that is that there is this question mark over legality of ownership of players. It doesn't conform to the Treaty of Rome, the 1952 European Treaty of Rome. It's the only job I can think of where your boss gets to tell you if you have to stay or not. I imagine handed your notice in tomorrow at work, and your boss going, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not really interested, you've got to stay. I know they've signed a contract and they're very well remunerated, but still it seems like sort of a very well-paid slavery. Not that there's going to be any, it might be the Mandela effect. Mandela effect. I'm sure it used to be the Mandela affect. Who's the only actor to receive an Oscar nomination for acting in a Lord of the Rings movie? Andy Serkis had done it. Nick Fadley. I clicked the like and I liked it, but I'm not happy. Not happy to have to be happy. But if you're not happy in the Adams Arms, the rule is the rounds are on you. I don't understand hyping player sales. Why would you want to be bright and selling your top players? It's better to not be great sellers. It means we actually keep our top players. Yeah, that's a good point. Social, I understand that, but we have lost some top players that we didn't want to lose, right? So your statement makes a lot more sense if we'd kept hold of all the players we didn't want to lose. I'm talking about Fabregas. I'm talking about Van Persie, Thierry Henry. It would be great to think that the reason we hadn't recouped a lot of money for these players is because no one we wanted ever left. Sanchez didn't go. That was a terrible bit of business. You can't deny that. We could have sold him to City. Instead, we waited 4 months and let him go for free with Henrik Mkhitaryan coming the other way. Shit. I'm calling it, Dio. Well done on being chat member of the night. Take care, all kind to each other and yourself. Rosie out. Rosie, thank you so much for being here. Can't do it without you. You're the best moderatrix in the world. You know you are. I know you disagree. Fabio to West Ham. God, don't be. Oh, mate. Aren't they suffering enough? We do suck at selling. We don't need. We do suck at selling players we don't need. Yeah, we do. We really do. Because we don't need Fabio Vieira and we're not going to get anything but a bag of chips from him. I'm reliably informed that even linguistics professors don't know the difference between affect and affect. Yes, they do. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. You just type that one into Google. You'll be pleasantly surprised. An affect and an effect. It is very simple. Mind you, I do have a stepson who's a fucking linguistics nerd. I have to keep on top of that. Maybe it's different in America. I'm just looking. Yeah. To produce an effect upon or a noun, meaning that something done, effect is when something happens. So it's very different. Were there euros when we sold? Yes, there were euros when we sold Anelka. You're silly, Sean. It's cascading problems when we sell badly. This is why we can't get Eze. I don't know. I think we can get Eze. We've just chosen not to. Sorry, I don't want to. My understanding. The Doppler effect is not affect in real time. No, the Doppler effect is always the Doppler effect. It's the effect of bandwidth of sound traveling past you and shortening and elongating. It's the Doppler effect on the sound wave. Oh, you mean the Doppler effect has no effect in real time? Definitely does. And I think I'm going to need a physics professor to help me with this one. Zimzalabim! Oh, hi. I understand that you read astro and particle physics at the University of Hiawatha. Gary, don't waste the trip now.
Hello, sir.
Are you fuming? Are you angry? Did we let you down?
I'm disappointed in the way that we played. Yeah, I am. I tell you, I'll repeat my same phrase I usually say. I'll take performance over results any day because I can live with performances. I can't be lucky with results. I know a lot of people said today they just want the win. I'll take the win, of course, but I know we can play better than that, which is good. That means
I guess listen, let me put it into poker terms then, right? Because you don't usually just play a big tournament. Usually, if you're sensible, even if you have the money to buy in, you'll play some satellites. And you want to play well all the time. But if you get lucky and you get through a satellite to the main event, you'll take that. You'll take a lucky performance to get you to the next stage. With a league season's 38 games, we know we're not going to play well in all of them. I think people who get upset when we don't play well, they're in for a disappointing season. There are going to be games we don't play well. If during those games the performance is bad, but you can still get the 3 points, that I think is okay. I think your broader point, I would 100% agree with, that if the performances are shit, then you can't hope to pick up points because good performances lead to more points than bad performances. But if we satellited today, we needed the 3 points.
Yeah.
I did say right at the top, I don't know if you the thing that intrigues me, makes me laugh, smile at least, is the fact that everyone's happy today. All the really angry people get to be angry. All the sort of really top gooners, they get to be happy because they're happy anyway. Ty is probably delighted. And so everyone gets to be happy. Me as a mid gooner, I have to say, if every game this season was a 1-0 victory like that, I would be happy because we'd have won the league. But at the same time, I lived through the George Graham era, and that's what 91 felt like a little bit, So I would get through a season of that, win the league, and then I would probably be more Arteta out than anyone else because silverware isn't enough for me. I would want to see us. I think this is a really good squad, and I don't think we tactically it was all the problem today. I think that when the team take to the field, the motivation they have to play well, the confidence they have and the belief they have in themselves, that has to in some part come from the manager. And I think that wasn't there today. I think they were a little disjointed.
Yeah. No, say hello to everybody who said hi to me when I joined. I think Idris Adam and I can't remember who else just said hi to me as well. Nick Fadley, thanks for joining. Everybody in the chat, thanks for joining. Yeah, like I said, I guess I could be a negative Nelly, as they call it. But there's two sides to this, right? We'll watch this game and we'll talk about this game by itself, and then we'll talk about the body of work and what that means going forward. So we talk about this game right here. First time we're playing and coming out the gates playing, it looked like we hadn't played together or not. It looked like we hadn't played together. That's and that's probably fine in a sense of grand scheme of things. If you think about it, it's the first game of the season. It's going to be rusty. It looked like it, from all aspects, be it the players, be it the coaching, substitutions, all these little types of things. So, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, we always talk about we needed 3 points, and as you said, we're gonna look back at this game like we look back at some of the other games we've played early in the season, and this one we got the win. So I'm gonna be happy about that. The one thing I always say is also that you get 38 tests, right? And if you can do a little bit better in each one of those tests each time you go out there, at some point, the performances will be there and the results will be consistent. So there's a lot for us to improve on. So,
Yeah, no, that's what somebody was saying earlier in one of the
yeah.
streams that I sort of decided I was never going to watch again. There's no excuses for a performance like that. And I remember thinking, well, typically when you win, you don't actually need an excuse.
Yep.
You know, like if I say to you, go and get me 3 points, and you come back with 3 points, and then I say, well, what's this?
Yeah.
I wanted 3 points, but I wanted a great performance as well. Then you can kind of say, well, how about a nice, gentle F you? I'm not interested. Like, we got 3 points. You don't need excuses. I think what your kind, where I have a great deal more sympathy for your position is that when Midgetland were third in the Danish table, they were very, very stat based, and they had their expected points was a lot higher than their actually achieved points. And they were mocked and derided by the Danish press and other football teams for like, well, there's no such thing as expected points. But they were like, no, we know we're doing it right and it will balance out. We know that the process is right. And so if you keep doing something right, eventually the points will catch up to you. And then they did. They won 2 or 3 seasons in a row. But the reverse is also true. And I think that's, not to paraphrase what you were saying, but I think that that's the point. If you're playing like shit and winning, there's only so long that's going to last. If you don't have your tactics in order, you understand each other and how you play, and you don't have the confidence in each other, then you could get a win away at Old Trafford and a draw at Leeds and then get battered at Liverpool. And the 3 points at Old Trafford, you would have been better off realizing that you needed to fix everything and changing everything than carrying on with something that doesn't work. Because the most banal thing I've heard everybody say today that's wound me up is, if we play like that against Liverpool, and you're like, well, it will be a different game. It's for a start, it's played on a different day.
Yep.
It's played against a different team by different players. You know, like, things will have changed by then. And I say that might play worse. I don't know right now. Charles Xavier. Oh, I don't know. Is it Xavier or Xavier? I never know how to pronounce that. Hello. The performance wasn't good enough. I agree, but it was good enough to get 3 points, and that is kind of what we got. So,
you know, and a lot of people said if this was Liverpool, then people would probably look at it and go, well, you know what, this is
they
what
did all last
this is
season
what
when
the
Liverpool
that's
got
what I was about to say. Like last season, I don't think they played particularly good.
Liverpool were 2-2 with Bournemouth on Friday. That game was an amazing game for. I just want to say this, because I haven't had a chance to say this yet. The once again, the fans at Anfield show what being a classy football fan is all about. Like, it was unbelievable that the well-observed minute silence by the Old Trafford faithful today deserves a huge amount of respect as well, because there are things more important than partisan rivalries. And I think that's a really classy thing that happened. There was so much happened in the Liverpool game that we haven't talked about. Maybe we will over the coming week or whatever. But realistically, they didn't play that well. But they got the goals at the end that made it look a lot better. I think this Bournemouth team are really probably not the team that Man United are. I thought City had that goal. I mean, it was a blatant offside. Don't get me wrong. Wolves scored a blatant offside goal. But had it not been, I think they looked like they were a bit rattled. I don't know if anyone's playing brilliantly right now. Chelsea certainly aren't. And that's the top 4 favourites for the title. So you can play badly and get results. And when you do, teams like Liverpool, teams like Man City, teams like Chelsea will get praised for it. They will get told Liverpool weren't at their best. They managed to get a home win against Bournemouth, who sold literally their entire back line. But they managed to get a 4-2 win over Bournemouth. Therefore, they're brilliant. We got a 1-0 away at Old Trafford. I think if Liverpool played like they did against Bournemouth at Old Trafford, that would have been possibly a draw. So, saying all that, I completely agree that it's pointless saying that if you get the 3 points, it's pointless not affording us the same grace that you would other teams.
No, for sure, yeah. But I mean, we don't get that. I mean, if it was balanced, yes, but it's not. It doesn't seem to be, anyways. At least to us. At least I feel like,
yeah,
Arsenal fans. I feel like if everything's equal, we won't get the credit. If everything's equal, we'll be bashed, even if we get the results. If we don't do it, then it's like, you know what? man, you are terrible. But but then going into the game, everybody, there's a lot of people thought we probably won't, we won't win this game, right?
Yeah, I thought it'd be a really tough. I predicted a
Yeah.
draw in my forecast.
I had a 2-0 tough game, if that makes any sense.
And you're almost right, but Madueke couldn't
Yeah.
bundle the ball over the line somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, we had.
I don't know how.
I mean, we had Saka in front of the goal with an opportunity to put the ball. Like we only had, I don't know what it is, 3 or 4 shots on target, and
our shooting was
yeah.
definitely poor. I think my one of my final notes on the game was going forward, shoot. It's like,
well, it's funny you said it, because I that's something I always say all the time, is like, when you're inside the 18, the next thing in your mind should be shooting the ball, because guess
there
what?
really isn't anything in that sort of space that has a very low XG.
Yeah.
If you're in that spot, that's distance from goal shot. I just want to touch on this because Boyten Dio's getting a. This is where you came in. I was hoping you were going to be able to add to this physics discussion. When Doppler is happening in real time or already happened, how come the effect doesn't change? Okay, so it's an effect, and also your problem here is that it can only happen in real time. It's something that relies on distance and time and space to have effect. For example, absent any time, there would be no Doppler effect. The effect would not be measurable. An affect is something that has an affect on something else, and that doesn't happen here, except for when a vehicle passing, making a noise, has an affect on the sound waves. But really, those sound waves are not in themselves affected without time. Hope that cleared that up for you. I should go bother some scientists with this, see if it starts a faculty war. It won't.
Yeah.
They will do. I mean, we have physicists in the family, unless you couldn't tell. This man, Gary, has all right standards. Not good standards, not bad standards. They're just all right. Can I just say, Gary, they're the worst standards you can have.
Thank you. I guess I don't know. I don't know who's praising me, who's upset with what I have to say. This is just who I am. So I guess we're gonna have to deal with that. Sorry, that's what you're gonna get. But yeah,
well, he's fuming anyway, so it's probably best to go and have a lie down. I think just go and wet flannel over the forehead. That always does it. You'll be much happier. Boy, today we didn't have these wins in us last season. I agree, man. I think that's what you were saying as well, though, Gary. You were saying like we got the 3 points today.
Yeah, we got the 3 points in a game like this. Those shots, does Rhea make the save to push it wide? Does that ball hit the inside of the post and go in?
I have to say, just on the most basic level of interpreting that comment, we did get a draw at Old Trafford last season, and we were lucky to get a draw last season. So we clearly, that wasn't a good Man United. This Man United side is better than that. I don't know. The best way to know if we're better than we were last season is play the 38 games and see how many points we've got. Like, do you think anyone will let us do that?
No, that's no fun, because you can't have. They can't punish us for 38 matches if they do that.
I do want to touch on that, because I think it was something we don't really talk about here at the Adams Arms that much. But like, is there an agenda? Are we treated differently by the media than other teams? And my view on it is not, of course, unbiased, but I think yes. But I think part of the reason for that is that we rise to it every single time. We never let it go. I think we can just be stoic and go, shit happened. Rice got sent off for touching a football. We didn't see anyone else get done for it. If that isn't obviously bad, refereeing, then there's nothing I can say that's going to change your mind. Like if me sitting here saying, well, that's never happened before or since, doesn't alter the subject. What we tend to find is that we get shit on by PGMOL, and whenever an independent body looks at it, they go, yeah, that's ridiculous. Don't be fucking silly. Like, and I'm talking about Miles Lewis-Skelly's red card. PGMOL straight away, yeah, that's perfectly fine. He could have killed him. He could have literally killed him and all the generations that follow him. And then the independent body went, are you fucking mad? That's a yellow card. It's never been a red card in the history of football. And I'm including South American football, women's football played by blind people with bells on the ball. No one ever called that foul that was worthy of red card. So they overruled it. But do I think we get treated differently? Yes. Do I think that we're discussed in the media differently than other teams? Yes. I think we do that because we're fucking good value. All you've got to do is put a post up saying Arsenal are shit, or Arsenal will be 5th this season, and we all come running around with our tails up going, no, we won't. It's like, I watched Deluded do brilliant. He's so good at doing it as well. I could never do it. It was with Rants. And some of the guys, Syed and Rants, both very funny, and they were doing really well. And they were going, "You're going to get down. You're going to beat." And then he's just like, "I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I hope you're right." Because like everything you've said in the last hour and a half, you're going to feel stupid if it doesn't happen. And tonight it didn't happen. And tonight, and for all the nights until we play them again, they have to wear that. They have to, in the common nomenclature and parlance of the modern football enthusiast, they have to hold that L. Mr. Arsenal Podcast. Ryan's here. How are you? How are you? Let me know if you want to come on. Where's Moaning Luca tonight? He's probably angry. Like, I'm guessing he's angry. Doesn't he just have the one setting? Isn't it? I mean, did someone not put the other, when a button goes from happy all the way through to mediocre to sad? I think it's just jammed. I think someone got it sticky and it jammed. The performance was bad, but we got 3 points. It can't be a trend. I hope it is a trend. I pray that's a trend. I pray that we play bad every single game and we get 3 points every single game. I can't wait till we're lifting that trophy, probably in the beginning of April, if we win every game from now till then. And everyone tries to make us feel shit about it because we didn't play well.
Yeah.
I want to live that life. I want to care so much about everybody else's opinion that winning the Premier League upsets me.
Yeah.
I think the modern era has become so mean girls. It's so about perception and what people think that there isn't the objective truth of we won the fucking game. Yeah. I lived through the George Graham era and the 1-0 to the Arsenal. That it wasn't him and his teams that created that era. It had existed before, but we popularized it in the film Fever Pitch, where they offside trap. That was our flair. That was watching Arsenal at our best. We had David Rocastle, one of the most gifted footballers ever put on an Arsenal shirt. And his job was basically to watch the ball fly over his head and then tackle people. It's just, I lived through the boring. In 91, we lost one game. We conceded, I think I'm right in saying 17 goals. It's either 17 or 18. And it was boring, turgid football. But when we lifted that trophy, you better believe I was happy about it. And that was one of the trophies we lifted at Highbury because we won it because Liverpool lost to Nottingham Forest and Ian Rowan goal. So I didn't even get to say we won the league before the Man United, we played Man United that day and they paraded the trophy and that was that. Brilliant. And do you know how many nights I lost sleep over the fact that we didn't win it like with flair and panache? Not a single one.
Oh, no, I don't, we don't care how it comes to be. I mean, if you remember when we had Unai Emery, I think we went on like a 21 game non-losing streak, and we all enjoyed the streak. But for me, at some point, we're gonna have to go get the win ourselves and not depend on luck, missed shots, crossbars, and shots on post or just shots from right in front of the goal being missed entirely and stuff like that. At some point, we're gonna have to get the 3 points ourselves at some point. All right. But I'll take a 21 game non-losing streak while we figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we suddenly find ourselves in April going, shit, we're like 8 points clear. Oh, well, let's play some football. Fuck it. Yeah. I want to get some of these comments, some really good ones in here. 37 other games for Pretty Football. Amen. Till then, we have our defence to lean on. Yes, we do. He's built a very solid defence. This is a new phrase. Us Suagoon a happy result. However, we've seen the story before. This is one of the things, Mob, I find it really funny when you guys say that. Oh, I've seen this before. Haven't we all been watching the same thing? We all seen this before. Like, what we haven't seen before is the future. And that has yet to happen. Although, Sean Joseph, great to see you. 1-0 to Arsenal. Amen to that. Well said indeed. Nave's going to get me singing. He comes from Sweden. The girls are very nice. He dumped his girlfriend to play in red and white. He's scoring goals with a cannon on his chest. His name is Victor Jokas. I was very angry at the performance today. I don't imagine you being really angry, Drissidan. Don't ruin it for me. Martin Odegaard gave me the hump today and Calafiori. Yeah. I mean, I didn't see. Isn't a football funny like that? I just didn't think Martin Odegaard played that badly, but then everyone else did. So I'm like,
What did you see? Okay, tell me this then, because I asked this question when I was watching. So, what parts of Erdogan's games today are you going to say, look, we can build on that, and and then because they were good, parts of his game that you saw today. That you know what, he continues to do that, and then he adds a little bit something else to his game tomorrow. On next Saturday or Sunday,
No,
whenever
I
they
understand the
play.
question.
Yeah,
I do understand the
yeah,
question.
yeah.
Specifically, do you want, I can list a few things, but I think most specifically dribble attempts.
Okay.
There were a couple of times where he took his man on and he was direct, and I think the pass at the end of it was shit. And I think that your question, what can we build on? I feel like one of the concerns I've had with Martin Odegaard is that he is too concerned about giving the ball away in places he shouldn't be overly concerned about giving the ball away.
Yeah.
And today I felt like we saw a different aspect of his game, and I thought he was more prepared to run forward. But that's not to say that there were a couple of very lovely touches where he was fouled. He went around two players when he was fouled and brought down. Drawing fouls in dangerous areas is not the ideal outcome of a dribble. Certainly his passing was below par. There's no getting away from that. But I think unlike Declan Rice, who I don't think won a single duel, he won 5 of his 8 duels. And I think that was him. Listen, I don't think he's the type to snap into a tackle and win the ball off you. But I think he'll harass and harangue you and pick up the loose balls. And I think there was a couple of times I thought was really interesting. We're not quite gelling yet, but there was I don't know who the other player was, but Odegaard deliberately went behind them, even though he was running the other direction, because there was an Arsenal player there, and he's kind of thinking, if the ball breaks loose, I can break with it. I saw more thrust from him than I've seen in a long time, and more confidence, and I felt like he had more swagger. But if I'm saying I didn't think he played badly, what I might actually be saying is I thought there were other players who played considerably worse. And I don't necessarily, like I've said it earlier, how on earth we were completely outfought and outmuscled by Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes in that midfield when we had Zubimendi, Rice, and Odegaard. It's just not acceptable.
Yeah. No. I guess I can listen to what you say, and I can, probably agree that he actually did put in some dribbles that we may not have seen before. The end result of some of those dribbles, where he just dribbles right into the defender, because he, and at the right there, he had 2 players who was one to his left, one to his right, picks any one of them, but he doesn't choose anything, and he just runs out of real estate and just dribbles right into the defender, and I'm like, oof. Well, that wasn't good. That wasn't good, and we know his passing is really good, but he didn't even get a chance to try it.
Yeah, his passing was shit today.
But he didn't even get to try it because he basically just dribbled right into the defender. And I mean, the ball was just taken off him very easy because when he saw the defender, he pulled up just enough. The defender just took the ball and went the other way. And you're like, and they got a counter from that, which, some people will say, how in the world are we on the attack? We turn the ball over, and now they're on the counter with numbers. With numbers, not even that, they're on the counter and we're there, but they're like, 1-on-1, 2-on-1. It seems, they have the advantage because we are so. It's almost like we're all just watching the balls. It's going up the pitch and walking with it, and not realizing defensively if we are sound, if something happens, right? I mean, he turned the ball over inside the 18, and they were able to get the ball out.
I've never seen Odegaard turn the ball over more than today. I think I'd have to go through the stats all of last season. I think he gave the ball away almost 3 times more often today than he's used to doing. I suppose that's kind of, well, that's not what anyone wants. No one wants that statistic. But when I'm looking at players who might be a good fit for Arsenal, and they are players like Ethan Nwaneri and Saka, who admittedly don't give the ball away as often as this, it's always a player. Like if Eze comes to Arsenal, I would be prepared for him to give the ball away about 11 times a game, which is a rise on the average number of times we give the ball away from attacking thrusting positions. But so I would still say, it's because he's trying. I'd rather a player in Eze's position or Odegaard's best position, which is higher up the pitch, to give the ball away in the final third. That's fine. We've got fast defenders. I think we saw that a couple of times today as well. But yeah, if I look at, I didn't think Odegaard played that badly. I do think it's literally because I thought Zubimendi looked starstruck. Declan Rice was just nowhere to be seen, as far as I could tell. He barely touched the ball. Again, if you look at it, I think Odegaard gave the ball away almost 3 times as much as Declan Rice. But you have to have it to give it away. And I don't think Declan Rice had it. And I think, look, apart from anything, we just did not seem to have that calm control that we needed to have to take the sting out of the game. I think it mattered too much. And this, what I said to you earlier, I think if I'm the manager, I have to send you out in the right mood to go and get the job done. I don't feel like that happened today.
Yeah, that's why I said it was as they say, a total breakdown. Like the entire institution failed today. The institution of Arsenal football today just failed today because like I said, I'm trying to find the positives to build on. Yeah, the one positive is, did you get the win? Yes. All right, cool. We'll take that one.
I think you have to ask that question when you ask that. Did you get the win? How did we get the win?
Yeah. No, because it is that's why I'm saying that I'll take the performance or the result, but I'm going to take the result. I'm taking it.
Yeah,
I'm taking the result.
Yeah, of course. You're not giving it back.
Because it's as you said, it's too late now. They're giving us the win, or we got the win, whatever you want to say. So yeah, I will take that. But like I said, it's 38 tests. We will get better in certain aspects tomorrow, right?
You've got Leeds next. I think a home game against Leeds. I expect to see a much better game from Zubimendi and Declan Rice. I think if Gyökeres gets some confidence, Gyökeres, barely ever found himself in the box, which is just bloody irritating because that's the whole thing I want. I wanted Benjamin Šeško. Not that he played particularly well. He's only had a week with the team. I think a lot of what was irritating to me about the people who had the clamour for Gyökeres was like, he's ready now and Šeško isn't. I think in terms of skill, Max Dowman might be ready now. If you're as technically gifted as some of these guys are, you're ready. But Gyökeres, I think I've grown to really like him since we signed him, obviously because he's got the shirt on and also because his determination, his hunger, his sprints, his running, he's constantly running, and that's going to be a good thing. I thought my most disappointing moment was where he was almost through and the ball got caught up in his own feet, and you just think that's not a good look for a guy being paid £250,000 a week to run with a football, However, we can take some things from it, or we can just go, okay, maybe it's good because they all went home, they were all in a good mood, they got the 3 points they needed, they can get into training on Tuesday, Arteta can sit them down, or Gabriel Heinze can sit them down, whoever does it, and say, all right guys, we're not going to play like that again. Okay, we're done. We wipe our face. We improve. We look at all the areas we can improve, and we fucking do that. Because if we are going to be as wide open at the back as we were against Man United, against teams like Liverpool, and we've got them coming up, we're going to get stunned. I also don't know enough about Leeds. I can't wait for that game. Hopefully, we'll beat them 3-0. That would be my hope. But Paul Annis says, "Night, speak to you during the week as I've got the workman coming tomorrow." I hope that's not a euphemism. Nottingham Forest look really good today. I didn't see it, but yep, another one that I nearly had in my fantasy football. I hate fantasy football. Red Eye Gooner popped up in the comments and he was like, "Why have you made Šeško your captain?" I was like, "What donut? What's he trying to do? Why would I have Šeško as captain?" And I looked and he fucking was.
Oh no!
I was like,
wow.
Why is Šeško my captain? I swear to God, I put Gyökeres as my captain because I thought he'd play well today.
It is how good I am at the fantasy football. I didn't even put a captain in.
I actually did. I
didn't even select one. I think you're supposed to.
It was right about the time I took Semenyo out of the team, because I realised I could manoeuvre things around, and I managed to get an even. I got João Pedro, Šeško, and Gyökeres my front three instead of Semenyo, Gyökeres, and Šeško. And watching the game today, I was like, I've got 3 fucking shit forwards, haven't I? Can I just sell them all and get one good one? Hey, fantasy. If you're not playing, guys, you've done the right thing. If you are, join one of our leads. Just down, long-haired Yeti had a really good watch-alongs this week for them. Don't know him. know of him, but it's a red card in wheelchair football. It's a red card in every type of football, mate. Chelsea parked the bus after building the blue Galacticos. No one complained then. I want to touch on that. Actually, I'm going to put a pin in that. But before I do that, I, of course, have to say hello to Anthony Herbert, covered in sherbet. Oi, big up, Razor. Who wants some? Big up the chat. And Gary. I will hear no complaints about our style being bad if he gets us the win. You will. Listen, one thing I can guarantee you, if you watch Arsenal, you'll hear complaints. It just comes with the territory now. So I don't know when it was, when it started, when you had to be a whinging bastard to be an Arsenal fan.
If that's our playing style, then I would agree.
You can't call that a playing style.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying, like, if we're gonna play this way and get wins and get enough wins to win a league, then and then you're like, that's because I believe unless I missed something, I think when Chelsea had one of the better defensive records in the league, that was their style, I believe. All right, their style was that a defensively strong team, you aren't going to get much from that. You're not going to get many goals out of the games because they gave up 14, whatever number it was, right? So, if that's your style, then that's great. But nobody, as you said, I don't think we play a defensive style where we're just trying to win 1-0 and that's it. We're not going to do that.
No, but you can't get away from the fact that we go a goal. I actually wrote, I was literally in my pre-match sentiment, I was like, I hope we don't get a goal and then just try and sit back. And I felt like we didn't push on enough. We didn't,
and that's the thing. You see, we've seen it consistently though. Like we feel like every time we get a goal, or we respond, we get the goal, they get a goal, we get the next goal, and then you're like, all right, now if we can see this thing out with a second goal to take that 2-goal lead, maybe things will happen. And then it seems like we kind of get complacent, or like, we'll see this thing out defensively, and it's like, you can't put that much pressure on your defense. You have to relieve the pressure. You cannot give the other that's what happened in this game. At some point, Manchester United looked, and we were not trying to take the game, control this game and take it and make it out and put it out of reach, right? And at some point, you're going to give other teams the opportunity. And when they had chances to counter, they went 110% every time. And that's the same. We saw it all last year. So for me, we didn't learn that. Guess what? Just because you have a lead doesn't mean other teams just going to lay down and die and just let you have the.
I wonder if you could look at it. I don't know what stat this would be, but if you looked at the stats for the worst, I think we were third worst counter-attacking team last year in terms of the number of counter-attacks, but our outballs are just not there. Like, we just have to kick the ball out wide. There isn't any, against the City game was the worst. Obviously, we were down to 10 men. But today, when we're clearing the ball, there isn't you think, that would be Gyökeres. Just stay in the centre circle and just be an out ball. Someone to bomb the ball forward and you chase it and run after it and cause them problems. When you don't have that, it means that they don't have to leave a defender behind. It means that they can literally pile forward and put pressure on you in every moment, in every part of the game. It is really frustrating. For what you were saying there about how we're putting too much pressure on our defense, I was thinking about this, like how teams become an extension of the character of the manager, right? So Alex Ferguson's teams were fighters. They fought tooth and nail, any means necessary, till the final whistle and beyond. Arsene Wenger's teams were full of flair and creativity and freedom, but he built them on a foundation of George Graham's solid, dour, defensive, never surrender, be a wall, an impenetrable wall. Jose Mourinho, that you touched on with the park the bus, was very much like from my cold dead hand. You will get a point from me out of my. You'd have to kill that team to get a point out of them, and they had enough about them to score, and then they were so well drilled. He did the same thing when he was at Real Madrid against Pep's Barca. There's just that kind of determination. I think with Arteta, we don't really know yet, but clearly if the team becomes a manifestation of his character, he is solid, dependable, hardworking, and cautious. And that's okay, but you definitely need some people on that pitch that aren't that. You need some people who are going to go, well, that's why I think I was praising Odegaard earlier, even though it wasn't results-wise, objectively, a very bad performance. but at least he was trying something different, creative, and that's why I'm so frustrated that we didn't sign Eze. Multiple times he had options left and right on the attack, and every time he chose Martin Odegaard, every time he had the wrong option and loses the ball, and Calafiori way too relaxed, I'd have chopped him at halftime. I was surprised Martinelli made it past halftime, but
I was surprised. Like in my eyes,
35 minutes he's had.
Well,
and
when
that's
I'm thinking about it, for me, I was like both Martinelli and Odegaard. I was like, it's all right if you want to sub them at 30 minutes at halftime. It's okay.
I think that's more than all right. I think that sends a message better than anything else a manager can do. I think at 36 minutes I hooked Martinelli. I had to go, this is not game for you, mate. It's just not.
Because I was saying, we've seen Pep sub. He had an injury, so he subbed. And like 20 minutes later, he subbed the same position. Because guess what? He realized it's not going to work. Like, I'm bringing you into sub, and I'm realizing it's not going to work. And maybe it's just not your day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As long as people understand it, probably not your day. I'm not subbing you because I think you're a bad player.
And I'd like to extend that further. Right? Gary, if you're Martinelli and I'm Martin and I'm Mikel Arteta, and you go, like, why'd you sub me at 36 minutes? Like, stupid question, mate.
It was a bad day. It wasn't that you're a bad player. It's
you
a bad
were playing
day.
really badly, and I don't know if this was clear all the way through training, but I hoped it was. Like, I really want to fucking play well and win this game, and I don't think you're going to be the guy to get me there. Now, here's the thing: when you get another chance, play really well. And if you don't get another chance, well, them's the breaks. That is life, isn't it? Life is shit. Sometimes I was a salesman. Yeah. Sometimes you prepare for a pitch for a month. You go and you do it, and you just fumble your words. You're not on your top game. The deal doesn't go your way. And who am I supposed to complain to? Give me another chance. I deserve another chance. I'm usually good. You go and do an exam, and you fuck it on the day. That's what it is. You fucked it on the day. I don't have a problem. I think what you're touching on there is a problem, because I would put it to you, like, I would suggest it's this. He's looking at Martinelli, and presumably, because Mikel Arteta knows so much more about football than I do, he's going, yeah, this isn't working. But if I take him off now, it would be political. It might hurt his feelings. And I think all of those considerations are massively secondary. I don't think Pep thinks like that. I think Pep just goes, I want to win this game. There's a way I think I'm going to win it. There's personnel on the pitch I think will win it. And if there's people on there that I don't think will win it, they're coming off. And I don't care if I just subbed them on 3 minutes ago. And I think Arteta isn't that. And maybe he should be. And maybe I wish he was. But today, watching that game, not one moment did I really think he was going to sub Martinelli off in the first half, even though I would have been delighted if he had. Because there is a point now I think we're all getting to where it's doing Martinelli more harm than good being on that pitch.
Yeah.
Because
it's hurting his teammates. Because now when the ball goes to him, they're like, okay, is it gonna? Where's the positive of it? It's helping out the opponent, because now they're like, well, when he has the ball, guess what? We don't have to worry, because he's probably gonna mess, not do anything positive.
No one's marking him, are they?
So they're not concerned about when he has the ball, and more than likely he might, if he turns it over, they will be even happier for it. So, like I said, you're helping. Like, at some point, you have to stop the rot, right? It's starting to get rot. The wood's wet. It's getting rotted. It's starting to get rotted. You need to stop it. All right. Sometimes you stop it by taking it and tossing it out. Sometimes you have to do that and replace it with another dry piece of wood, and get solid. That's why you have subs. They gave you 5 subs.
Yeah, I mean, we use them all as well. We use them all.
I mean, we
had options, man. Like, we now have options on the bench. I don't think that Noni Madueke played well when he came on, but he had 30 minutes and Martinelli had 60 minutes. And in the 60 minutes that Martinelli was on the pitch, he touched it 14 times and gave it away 7 times. He didn't win a single aerial duel, but much more frighteningly for me, he only completed 3 passes in 60 minutes.
If you go even further with that, he was in there for 60 minutes. He was 3 for 5 on his pass, and Madueke was in there for half the time with 7 for 8.
I mean, it doesn't get much worse than 1 completed pass every 20 minutes.
I mean, so
Do you know what I mean? I think that's
it wasn't working. It wasn't working.
No,
Something
it wasn't.
needs to change.
It wasn't working at any point. It wasn't like, oh, there were glimpses. He was shit every time he got.
At some point, there's an assistant on the sidelines, right, who sees the stats, right? There's got to be somebody with a board with a little iPad, and it's saying, at this point, we're 30 minutes in. He's got, say, 5 touches. He's only made 1 completed pass. Something's not right. Is this what you want, coach? Is this what you want from your left wing? Right? Is this what you want?
Yeah, this is 60 chess. Gary, of course. What you're not seeing is that he's drawing the attention of absolutely no one. Of course not. I want to cover this. Boy Tendio, there's a couple of questions coming up I really like. But Boy Tendio was agreeing with the point I was making. I have no problems at all with Odegaard losing the ball. If he isn't giving the ball away, then he's not being ambitious enough with his play. There's a grey area there. I think some of his passes were just bad. But no, I agree with that sentiment entirely. But this one's really great. Like Maeve saying, "What's this I'm hearing about halftime interviews?" Yeah, and I was watching along with Deluded, and he was like, he didn't notice it either. I was like, Martin Odegaard's not going to say anything interesting. Let him go and fuck. He's the captain, for fuck's sakes. I want to believe there's something that he has to say to his teammates, not they've got him in front of camera. What did you think? Oh, it's fucking amazing, man. We're fucking smoking this shit show. We are fucking having it here. We are fucking on fire. I love what we're doing. I've given the ball away. I'm trying to give the ball away to every single Man United player. I've got a bet on with Declan. He took some Percocet and he's just trying to drift around without getting noticed. And it was a bad performance. You're allowed to say that. You're allowed to say that.
And here's the thing: with any of Arsenal players with over 10 passes, Odegaard was the worst. Over 10 passes, Odegaard was the worst player.
I love the fact you have to put that in there. Like,
because
a 90-minute game of football.
So if I look at players with under 10, then you know what, he's not the worst. But you know what?
How have we got players with under 10 passes? Like, it's not enough.
And that's with Martinelli having played 60 and only taken 5 passes. So you know what? I'm not even including the worst player.
Nah, I mean, if I had to say who the worst performance of the day was, for me, it feels obvious to say Martinelli. But I don't think Zubamendi covered himself for glory, and it probably between Declan Rice and Martinelli for me.
Well, yeah. And you know what? I think for me, Declan Rice, right? I kind of feel like, I don't know. I think his role needs to be redefined now that we have Zubamendi in there to some degree. I don't know how we use him and get the betterment out of him when he's out there on the pitch. That's the other part. So I don't know what that is in football. Like how can we use him to get the best out of him, so that we're not sitting there, because he was 20 for 25 today. So it wasn't like he was terrible with his passing or anything like that. But as far as the influence on the game and whatnot, not as good and not as influential as you probably want from a player like that, right? Zubamendi much better. He took he made the most passes completed. A very high percentage of them, right?
I just wanted
but the influence again on the game, right?
All right, before we go to the individuals, I think the heat maps, like the average positions, tells you quite a lot, because you can immediately see there is a problem here. Like this is a slight problem over here. No, this is Martinelli. I mean. It's not so much that he's like, it's been a minute over here and a minute. He's not done anything with any of that time. This is the strongest average position down here for Declan Rice. So ahead of him, we have Zubamendi, and I don't think we've worked this out yet, right? I don't think we've quite worked this out yet. Saliba, who is always the furthest back, which is okay, he's pacey. White, who wasn't, up front. This is not a good look either when he drifts to the right too much, because it's the same fucking spot that. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, they can't. There's a big pitch, guys. Don't just stand next to your best friends, right? Like, because you're not seeing, even though they didn't play well, there's a much better spread across the pitch, which is why I think they made it look more wide open than we did. that's just one thing that I wanted to just sort of throw in there, because I felt like when I was looking at the Martinelli, Declan Rice, Calafiori situation, it really didn't feel like a partnership with those three. It just felt like they were getting in each other's way or not supporting each other. There's a lot of this talk about, what you want a player that's going to overlap. Calafiori will do that. He won't invert. And that's true. But there was not effective overlapping. And he couldn't really overlap with Martinelli because Martinelli never really had the ball. Just a lot to work on. And there's no time. There's only one game left in this. Oh, hang on. No, it's the start of the season. Fair enough. Unfortunately, Nath, it is true that there were halftime interviews and it was really exactly what you'd expect. And so I too must leave. Adieu.
I guess I would like to say I'm glad I didn't listen to it, because I just, like you said, you're not going to get anything out of certain players. It's definitely Martin Erdegaard. You're not going to get anything there. You go, oh, that was kind of interesting, because you're not going to do that.
You're not going to get anything out of anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they target the. I don't know. I mean, like, what do you? They're all media trained. They media train them at the Hayland Academy. You go, so really shit game. I know. Fucking this manager has done my fucking head in this week. We've been training like shit. He doesn't know what he's doing. Anyway, I'm just about to go in the dressing room. See you all later. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna get someone like Martin Odegaard. He probably never drinks. He's never said anything wrong in his life. He's the captain. He's captain material. He's captain Norway, isn't he? He's like, yeah, we're doing our best and we'll keep fighting for the cause. It's all soundbite bullshit. I don't want more soundbite bullshit. All right, let me have a go at this. Right, They've just come off at halftime. They're a bit dehydrated. They have to neck 4 schnapses really quickly, and then they have to answer questions. That's how you get a fun interview. But can we also just go, when did football become so boring that we have to fucking have Martin Odegaard talking at halftime? They're going into the dressing rooms as well. You know that. I mean, like, I don't want to go in the dressing room. I just don't. I don't want to go in the dressing room. I want them to play well on the pitch. I can go and see a theatre play without wanting play at the theatre without wanting to see the actors behind the dressing room. I just want to see them playing good football. That was enough for my young life growing up. Just play some good football. Everyone enjoy the football, and I don't care what Martin Odegaard says. I can't be the only one. So Social Joins is saying, here again. They're not trained to create goal scoring, trained to play percentages in a box team in set pieces percentage football. I can't remember which manager it was that said basically my job is to get them to the final third, and it might have been Ancelotti. I get this really strong vibe, and it's just a vibe. It's not a fact, obviously. I'm not spitting facts at this point. I wonder to what degree we're any good at fucking attacking drills or any of that. Like, if we're doing a lot of it in training, we're not doing any of it on the pitch. Normally what you train is what you do, right? I would back us to hold out, even if we went down to 8 men for like 30 minutes. We're drilled in every area of what to do. I think we're over-drilled, and I think we are over-coached. I think players want to receive the ball in a certain way. There were 1 or 2 promising little interplays today between players on the right that I thought this could bear fruit. It didn't. Doesn't mean it won't. But yeah, in terms of like, I don't know. I mean, I was reading this. It was David Bentley, the bad enfant terrible of English football, who left Arsenal because he was always driving his car too fast, went to Spurs, thought he was a better free kick taker than he was hugely gifted, scored a beautiful goal against us for Spurs. I think it was brilliant, but really wild boy, sort of typical English footballer of the 90s, like, yeah, I'm the fucking mint, yeah, and all that. I mean, he was talking about how he was in the Invincibles. He only played 1 game in the Invincibles season, I think, if that. But he made like 9 appearances for Arsenal. He was mercurial, very gifted player. But he was talking about how in training, he was like Gio Van Bronckhorst. He would always give you black eyes. He would always try and elbow you. He said the best fight he ever saw in football was between Pascal Sigan and I think it might have been Kolo Touré. It just like we were at each other in training, like it was full on. We play 7-a-sides. So we used to go pre-season training was in Austria. We played these 7-a-sides. We didn't want anyone seeing what we were up to. We would kick the shit out of each other in training. And I know we're not doing that. I know we're not doing that. But when you listen to Ian Wright talking about it, he was like, he would train against Martin Keown, and Martin Keown would give him nightmares as a defender. And Martin Keown used to wind him up and say, "You're not going to face anyone harder than me on a Saturday. Saturday's going to be a break for you." I saw this beautiful little interview with who's the Chelsea player, the best midfielder, went to Real Madrid for 140 million quid. Eden Hazard. And he was like, Antonio Conte was his manager, and he said he hated it. He hated every minute of training so much that when he played on a Saturday, it was like the only time he got to enjoy himself. Yep. So he played really well. Some level of that is missing from us.
Yeah, you know what? That is what you say there is one of those things I remember when I played sports that the coach is like, at the end of the day, I want your practice to be so tough on you that when you get in the game, you're going to be like, what?
Yeah.
Because you know what? Because it was so tough in practice that you get in the game, you're gonna be like laughing. Laughing. They're gonna try something on you. Like I already seen that.
Yeah, Martin Keown already did that.
They're already gonna try something else on you. Like I already know how to beat that. I've seen too much for you to get in one under my skin, or two, you're not stopping me because you know what? This is too easy right now. And but because you work so hard in practice, right? You get into a game. It's instead of like practicing for 90 minutes for 5 days straight. Now you get to have this. You get a day off on the Saturday. Essentially, you come in on the Sunday and you play, or you get a rest before you come in. Mm-hmm. You're ready to go. You're ready to go, and they're gonna get the best of you for 90 minutes because you know what? I worked hard for this. I worked hard for this all week, and now I get to go and present everything that I just learned, everything that I worked on. Like right now, everybody has a list. All right. Everybody in our team has a list of things they need to work on. They got 4 days, whatever, to work on it, right? In practice. That could be anywhere from, I guess, 6 to 8 hours, depending on how far long they practice. Work on a list of those things. What's the worst thing I did today? I'll work on that and fix it. I come in on Saturday. I think it's Saturday we play. I'm better at that thing than I was the other day. All right. You do that enough times, that list gets smaller and smaller, and all you're doing is refining and keeping yourself up to snuff, as they say, right? But practice should be so much easier than the game.
Listen,
the game should be so much.
No, I think that's how it was. Yeah. That's how it was for the tough teams. I mean, that's like whenever you hear people talk about training with Gerrard, he pings balls at you. They're not interested in. I think I said this on Thursday, and I feel this because my mentor said it to me. He said, "Dan, you'll be good, not because you like winning, because you can't lose. I hate losing. So losing is how I feel in my life. I feel like I grew up poor. I was a loser. No one rated me. I wasn't good at anything. So I have to win to show people I'm good at something. And losing is like that. I can't live with that feeling. I can't live with it. I go to bed. I can't sleep. I can't do anything. It occupies my brain. I want more Arsenal players like that. And I think when you're in training and you have that mentality, I'll give you a really good analogy, actually. We made a documentary. I started an online gaming company, and we had to shoot a documentary for it as part of the publicity. And so we had this table, and I got 5 or 6 of my friends, people who played, won decent tournaments and things. I was being interviewed, and in the background, they were just playing a game of poker. Just chips, no money. Would you be surprised if I told you an actual fight broke out? Right? Because you can't. These guys play the same if it's 20 grand on the table, 100 grand on the table, or literally just chips. Right? And the cameraman was watching and he was laughing, and the guy interviewing me was going, "What's going on over there?" I was like, "Well, they're playing poker, aren't they? They're going to argue." It's like, "But they're not playing for anything." I was like, "Oh no, you're always playing for something. You're playing for pride. You can't be a winner and not win. You could there is no, like, when we play Monopoly as a family, please believe I fucking hate losing. Yeah. I get pissy. You can't be a winner and lose and be okay with it. So in training, you should be kicking the shit out of the person who wants to stop you doing the thing you're trying to do. If you're Martin Keown, you should be trying to foul Ian Wright. And if you're Ian Wright, you should be trying to nutmeg Martin Keown. And that's the relationship that I'm not sure is quite gelling yet. But let's be truthful about the fact that Gyökeres has only been with us for a couple of weeks, and Zubimendi's only been with us since the start of pre-season, and maybe they're still gelling and finding that, and they'll develop it in the trenches.
No, it's what they call it's called creating competition amongst your friends, right? If this is your friends and you're out there playing, there's competition already. You see it all the time, right? There's always competition amongst friends. All right, we are friends. We're on the same team. We've been forced to be friends, but we still want to, make ourselves. The only way you want competition so you can make each other better, right?
Yeah, I
Like if
see.
you're going if Eucharist is going up against Gabriel and Saliba, the way that we've seen those two defenders play, Eucharist will have no problem with anybody in this league.
Yeah, you'd
Not
imagine so.
nobody,
My
right?
worry, Gary, is that he's in training and they're like, "This is easy."
And that's the problem. He should be learning from like playing against some of the best. Like that's why I always said like I would watch games and I'm like, how can like my team's the Dallas Cowboys? They have a really good
I've
defense,
heard of them.
right?
No, I have heard of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they have like a really good defense. How is our offense struggling against any defense in the
because
league?
you think that they train against them all the
Like they
time.
should like this. Like at some point, the ones go against the ones they call it, right? You're not
Yeah,
always
yeah.
like for injury purposes, you don't do that too often, but you do it enough so that you can build up that rapport and understand like this is how the top players in the league are going to play you, and it goes on both sides. So the offense
Mm.
attacks the defense, and if you're attacking, for example, we say Timber's our best defender out wide, right, as a fullback, right? If Martinelli's coming up against Timber, it doesn't matter what side of the pitch it's on. He should know how to beat him because
No, he
Timber is one
doesn't.
of
I
the
don't
best
think.
defenders.
Listen, you brought
Like
us. I want to make some of these because Social's been saying loads of stuff, and I agree with a lot of it. So why was Martinelli so poor? Just do simple basic. It's kind of what you're saying here. Is he's up against good fullbacks, and he's obviously not doing it in training either. Because then he says Odegaard holds onto the ball too long. I don't think he looks up. I dislike playing with guys that hold the ball too long. Yeah, I could say that about his game. I hope it improves. Nobody knows what Rice's position was. His instruction was just poor. What was he doing? I feel there's so much truth in that as well. Galvo says, I'm going to disagree with you, France Dan. I thought Zubimendi was pretty good today. Arguably our best player with the ball by some distance. I didn't think he was. Yeah, I think he grew into the game a little, but from the start he looked a bit shaky. He didn't give the ball away much. He didn't do anything right or wrong, did he?
That's what I'm saying. Like who had influence on this game that you said yes?
I thought I was annoyed with Saka, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and you know
Because it
why?
kind of felt lazy today.
He's our best player supposedly, right?
Who's Saka?
He's our best
Yeah,
player, right? So if he's
yeah,
our best player, should have some influence on the game. It doesn't matter if the entire team's playing poor, he's still the top
No, I think
player.
he had
of
it.
the
No,
four.
yeah, but listen, show me the player. I mean, Bergkamp had bad games. I'm like, today was an off day.
I get it. I'm just saying, like, it's one game, so we're gonna go by just the one game. That's all. That is the sample size we got right now. The sample size we got
That's
right
right.
now is one game. After by the time the end of September comes, we've had a decent number, like 6 to 7 matches. We'll know.
Well,
we know
yeah.
by then.
I mean, I will just revise. Listen, my prediction is really bleak. I think we need to be really strong because I got it wrong already. I thought we'd get a draw at Man United. I think we'll beat Leeds. But then, I mean, come on, man. Look at this lineup. Leeds at home, Liverpool away, Forest at home. Okay, Forest are not as good away as they are, but they're still a top 7 side. Man City at home, Newcastle away. That's a shit first 6 games in any one. Three of the toughest 7 games we play are in the first 6 games. I know it's not someone out to get us, but if it was, they couldn't do a worse job. Yeah. I like this. Utter woke nonsense. What a joke. I think you're talking about, I hope it's not something I said. Well, no, I hope it is something I said. Love to be woke. The day we play a league fixture abroad is the day I stop following the club. Don't make those threats. You know it's coming.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Everything that you thought you liked about football is not the same now, and you still like it. So you've learned to assimilate to whatever the changes are.
You're making it sound like Stockholm syndrome.
No, but think about it. You could tell me all about football back in the '90s and stuff. I don't remember any of it because I wasn't there to see it. You know what I mean? And that football in the '90s, and the football in the 2020.
They get you. It's like,
It's
I
not
know
the
this is
same.
not actually true of crabs in hot water. Crabs feel the hot water as soon as it gets hot. There is this, notion that they boil to death before they realise it's painful, which is absolute shit. The change, though, in football was so gradual that we didn't. I watched Wimbledon play Man United a couple of months ago, and it was like, I can't believe it's the same sport. Like, there were men kicking the shit out of each other, and the referee's not even blowing. He's not even rolling his eyes. He's just like, "Oh, you two, get on with it." Yeah, there's like people are, dying. It felt like there was like I was watching a gladiator sport. I was watching like some dystopian future sport. Yeah. Now it's all, like now I'm not against this. I'm not trying to be, things were better when everyone was harder. But, when the ball hits a player, they're saying in a wall and the ball hits them. They stopped the fucking game now. It's like they didn't even used to stop the game at school. Like, even your teachers wouldn't have stopped the game. And they were like, they're responsible for you. Like, they're grown men. They put themselves in the way of a fast-moving projectile. It's okay. No one's ever died catching a ball in the bollocks, They might have wished they had. But that's just, it is just like, there's a point where it gets to, I think this is what happens. It happens over a lifespan. I know older guys, when I was, going to the football a lot, guys in their 60s and 70s, them guys changed now. And used to think, right, granddad, never mind. But I feel like I'm getting there. I feel like, it was fun for me watching the women's Euros because Dominique was like, because always, one of the comments she always has when we watch football together goes, "Oh, the men make so much of everything." And then you're watching these women. She goes, "How's it going?" Before she started watching with me, I was going, "Well, I just worry that I just don't think this is a sport for women." And she's like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Because, like, honestly, they look really hurt. I mean, they're not just hurt; they look like they're dying, and I can't watch it. It's really painful." And she goes, "Oh, shut up, you! Men do that as well." I said, "Yeah." And when the men do it, you accuse them of faking it, and when the women do it, it's like, "Oh, well, yeah, we need to stop the game for 20 minutes. She's got to have her makeup done again." Like, do you know what I mean? It is just, it's a brutal sport. It may not be a contact sport in the original sense, but people are, and there was one moment I was really disappointed with Saka today because you don't see this from him a lot. But he did not run to a tackle. He did not run to a ball as quickly as he should have done because he knew he was going to get clattered. And I'm okay. Maybe it's the legacy of his injury. Maybe, fair enough. But if you're not going to be the first to those balls, you can't be on the pitch. Imagine a keeper that kind of doesn't want to get his face in the mud. There's a certain thing. Nave says breaking news: Idrissa Dam is legend. Oh, I love you for that, Nave. Yes, he is indeed. But there's loads of questions going on. I'm not reading. That's on the coaching. He doesn't train passing and move. He trains positional football. Too much emphasis on standing in zones. I think that could be true. What do you think, Gary?
I like to say you play the way you practice, and a lot of things, like I said today, like I don't know what they practice, but I'm hoping it wasn't what they just saw today.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Imagine if it was. Imagine right now. What we're going to do is Martin. Pick up the ball and then flannel around with it and then just kick it anywhere. All right? Like literally.
That's why
you'd be out of position. Martinelli, don't touch it. If you touch it, give it to one of theirs. We're ready.
Know what I mean? Like at some point you're like sitting there going, you don't just dribble into the defender, right? Because they probably will just take the ball off of you. That's not what you do. Like it's almost like this is the first time he actually went out there, took a dribble, was able to split two players, and now has to make a decision and hasn't done that in practice before, right? Because
we've seen that. We've seen Martin. I thought there were some silkier moments from Martin Odegaard than we've seen in a while. They ultimately didn't lead to anything. It's a little less forgivable when your captain is making those kind of mistakes in his mid-20s. If it had been Max Dalman or Ethan Wanyeri, you'd be like, "You're good. This is how you learn." Yeah. So I get all that. We were off our game pretty badly today. We did not gel. We did not compete, but we fought doggedly and we maintained, and we somehow, I don't really know how, we came away with 3 points. Yeah. Some in the pocket of the fact that we were slightly lucky, something to do with the fact that Man United didn't take their chances. We had David Raya to thank for some of it, but there's a lot to work on, like you've said several times. And that's what I hope they're doing. And I think it's easier to listen. I will say this: if I'm coaching people who have a bad shift at work. Like, it's just not happening for them on the phones. And I'm coaching them and they feel low. I have to coach them a whole different way. I have to be like, come on, man. Like, of course it's tough. It's meant to be tough. You're good at this. You remember, like, if they're having a great day, but they sound shit, it's easy for me to coach them. I go, hey, listen, you're smashing it. You're doing really well. All I need to do is cheat. And they're like, okay, yeah, well, change that. Yeah, I'm up for changing that. It doesn't feel like, if you've taken an L today and you're on the team, no one's talking to each other on the bus or flight going home, you get into training, you really don't want to go in, you're going to get bollocked. You might not get bollocked in the old sense. It might be a sort of woke bollocking where someone just goes, I'm just really disappointed with you. Like, I really just want more for you. And I will be there for you, but like, you're not there for you at the moment. So just like, can we both be there for you? Okay. I don't want to get angry, but you're really making me like my voice tremble in that. That's a woke bollocking. Maybe that's not enough. I don't know. Right. Maybe I wonder what these, there is a part of me that feels like men always want to look up to, like, if you put a Brian Clough in there and went, right, you're shit, and you're shit. Now be better. Maybe they would all cry and fold and fall apart. But it's easier to coach people when they've got the points. It's easier to coach people from a position of victory. It's easier to go in on Tuesday and go, right, okay, first of all, fucking well done for coming away from Old Trafford with 3 points. That's what we wanted. But there are some things we can all do better, huh? Do we think maybe? Yes, Gabby, I'm talking to you.
That's when you go into them. Like, basically, at that point, everybody's like feeling good about themselves because they got the 3 points. And then for the rest of the meeting, they're like, damn.
I don't know. Yeah, see, that's
and I mean, damn, in the sense that I got a lot of stuff I need to work on. Because
what you want from a coaching perspective is you want them to come up with that.
Yeah. Well, that's what they do. If I tell you, you've got videos, right? We see them do the videos, and they're watching the videos.
Yeah. I mean, everyone does. They do the videos individually. Right? They watch the videos several times. They watch the individuals as a group when no one says anything, and then they watch the individuals with one-on-one, and they watch their own sections. And I'd like to think that Martin could look at it and go, you know what? I need to release the ball a bit quicker. I need to find the angles a bit quicker. I need to play the percentages a bit better. But at the same time, I'm not trying to. This isn't me going out of my way to big up like Martin Odegaard. But I just think like sometimes when you get people to change, like this is very much plays into the heart of what you were saying when you first came on. Sometimes I get people to change what they're doing because I know they're doing it wrong, but they might be getting results doing it wrong. And then they listen to me and I praise them for the change in the, because I very much believe in strategy, process, execution. I come up with a strategy. We agree on the process. It's on you to execute it. Now, if I come up with a strategy and the process and you change the process because it's not working for you, then it doesn't matter how well you execute it. You're still not in line with my strategy. So I need to tell people when they're doing it wrong to change, and they have to have confidence in me and faith in me that even though the results might dip at first, that we will get better results over the long term. Martinelli, if you touch the ball, you will be a better footballer than you are right now. And you have to trust me on this. When you get the ball, it's not going to be the worst thing that ever happened to you. But I want you to notice that from the bench. Maybe not even the bench. Maybe I'll get you and your family some tickets and, you can...
I've said this multiple times. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? I bet you if we just put Saka on the bench and had him just take a look at somebody playing his role, or you know what, if it's one of our defenders, have somebody sitting on the bench, and one of the things I'm going to relate to them, this is what you do, right, as a coaching, right? I'm not starting you today, but I need you to look at. I want you to play, and the player that's coming in that's behind you. In the lineup, in terms of first and second and all of that, comes in. He can actually does everything right. He's just not as talented as you. So positionally, he's in the right spot, but he doesn't have your speed. He doesn't have your power. But positionally, he's right where I want him to be, and you'll see why, right? Because a lot of times, that's what I want from the way we play, right? And a player that's sitting there that's got better talent, like say it's Timber, say it's Skelly, for example. He's watching that, right? It's something that, the coach wants me to see. And I'm looking at that. They're not really looking at the game. They're looking at where they're going to play, right? Because a lot of times you see them, they might be just watching the game, where in reality, they should be watching how the next person plays that role. because there might be a reason why you're not playing today or not starting today, and you just get a different view of it when you're just looking at it, especially in a game where it's not scripted, right? In practice, a lot of it's scripted to some degree. We're going to work on this part of the game. We're going to work on that part of the game. So when you see it, it won't be foreign to you. You've seen it already multiple times, and you know how to break it down, kind of thing. But in a game, it's not scripted. The other team is not following the script that your coach set up, and so they're going to do different things, and we're going to have to respond to it different ways, and all of that. And that's why that's how I look at it, and that's why I'm saying, like, all right, I saw it this one time. I hope I don't have to say it again, because then if I say it again, that means we're not doing anything better. And we should.
There's one of the first parts of Sun Tzu and the Art of War is Sun Tzu appears as if by magic, and he convinces, or he gets an audience with the king, and he says, "I can defend you against the neighboring territory who's almost certainly going to attack you." It's a time of the 7 kingdoms, and the king says, "Well, why would I trust you?" He says, "Okay, if you can train my concubines to drill, then I will give you a chance." So he takes 100 of the concubines, he divides them into 2 groups, 50 each. He pulls 2 of the prettiest concubines to the front, and he says, "I'm going to show you how to do a drill. Then you're going to show your group how to do it, and then you're going to do it when I command it." So he shows them, and they giggle. He sends them back to their team. Everyone's giggling. He asks them to do it. They can't do it. He pulls the 2 up ahead again, and he goes, "Were my orders not clear?" And they say, "Oh, my orders were clear." He goes, "In that case, I want these 2 women beheaded." And the king rushes down and says, "What are you talking about? These are my 2 prettiest concubines. My wine will never taste as sweet. My food will lose all its flavor. You can't kill these 2. He says, "I am the general. You are my king. You do not have jurisdiction over the army. I run the army as I see fit." So he has those 2 women beheaded, and he calls 2 more women up, and he says, "I'm going to show you how to do this. Then you're going to show your team how to do this. And when I say do this, you're going to do this." And by goodness, wouldn't you just know it? Those teams suddenly started to drill real hard. Sometimes the thing you have, I've seen managers in my divisions have done this. They've sacked someone on purpose to look tough. Because I shit you not, that works every single fucking time. You're in a meeting and someone says, "You know what, Gary, I value your input, but I don't like your attitude. I don't think we're going to be working together anymore. So I will arrange severance with HR. You're free to leave now." And if you think that meeting doesn't go a whole lot better from that point on, you're wrong. So I know that if I'm dropping Martinelli, I need someone to come in who is going to play better than him. And today that wasn't the case. Yeah. Although I think you made the point, Madueke's numbers weren't great, but at least he actually touched the ball.
Well, he did more than the player that he replaced in half the time. So you
just want Eze. You just want Eze out there, don't you?
No. You know what? And this game called for something like that. And it's not like, I don't think we don't have players that can do it. So either they're not getting taught that, or they can't do it.
I think who we could have done with today, Cunha. If Red Eye Goon is watching this and repeat, and he probably is, then he tried to get the Cunha thing going. It looked like we were going to sign him, and then we didn't.
Even Bueno looked good today, because you see you see him get the ball out there, and you're like, wow, because he's playing on the right wing. You're like, Saka doesn't do some of the stuff Bueno does, right? And that's against, as we have said multiple times, that is against what? Probably one of the top defenses in the league, right? and he's getting those type of opportunities, right?
I'm gonna say your data set is too small. We're not really serious. Look, we didn't sign Mbeumo because he's not better than Saka.
No. I'm just saying, but those are the types of things we're looking to get every once in a while, right? And we want to get it on the left side. So maybe on the left side we get the Mbeumo type player, and we're like laughing, right? Because we're like,
oh yeah, but I still think obviously Rodrigo doesn't look like that's going to happen. Lookman's definitely not happening. Jamie Gittins, it's funny, isn't it? Because this summer England is where it's happening anyway. So all the players, apart from Xavi Simons, who had a really good game. I think it was Saturday, played all right actually. So he's still in the mix and not been transferred yet. But Jamie Gittins went to Chelsea. He had a bit of a stinker. Benjamin Šeško went to Man United, barely played, had a bit of a stinker. There are a lot of players that I really like the look of that have come to England, and I'm can't wait to see them play well, but I'm kind of hoping they don't at the same time. Cunha is one of those kind of players where you think, yeah, he's good. Maybe his attitude isn't quite what it should be, but if you just want to play it, like in those kind of, I think Man United, if they get it right and they play counter-attacking football that Ten Hag wanted them to play, quick transition football, they've got players for it.
Yeah.
They could be up there with the Nottingham Forest kind of position this season.
Yeah.
But I think, Nottingham Forests are able to lose the odd home game without everyone losing their shit. Man United, it's just tough on them.
Do you remember those games we would play last year where we would get 20-plus shots and we wouldn't get the win?
Well, mate.
Right?
Of course.
Remember those games?
West Ham at home.
Guess who had 20 shots today?
Oh,
didn't win.
Man United.
Yeah, so so you know what I mean? Like, so turnaround is fair play, right? And like in the past, we would be that team with the 20 shots with the double the number of shots on target and not get it across the line, right?
And they always say to teams like that, they always say it's because you haven't got a lethal finisher. And I always think to myself, in the mind of the person saying that, every big opportunity always falls to the lethal finisher. Like it doesn't work out that way. And when you look at like how the narrative is, oh, you need a goal fixated striker. Man United have bought a few of those. Real Madrid got worse when they brought in arguably the best, highest profile striker in the world. Paris Saint-Germain won the Champions League the minute they got rid of their one striker. They had 160-something goals last season, and they don't have a recognised striker. Sometimes the football manager narrative doesn't fit real life. There are some good players around. I think when it comes to Semenyo, I'm worried that that's the sort of player we should be looking at. I didn't think Mbeumo was. I did think Cunha was, but then there was a kind of problem with his attitude, which let him down a little bit, which made me not want him as much. But Eze's still out there.
Yeah. The attitude thing, the one thing I'll say about that, and we've seen it, it all depends sometimes the environment.
Yeah.
Like you bring a Cunha into an Arsenal squad, he's not going to act like Cunha did in Wolves. That happened. That's going to happen. That's the only way he's coming in. Right, he's going to come in and do the interviews and all that stuff, and some of the things that are going to be discussed are things you might not want to hear.
I feel like in parenthesis, I want to say about Cunha. Yeah. I did do as much research as I was able to. I watched him in a lot of interviews. It was never anything that I saw that I didn't like about him. He's very popular amongst his teammates. He's very team focused. He seemed like a good guy, actually. But there was just something about the fact that no one wanted him at Arsenal. It was like there was a mismatch or something. And I didn't like the way he left Wolves, honestly. But that's becoming more common now. It used to be a very rare thing, and it's become... Nelka was pretty much the only player I remember doing it to us, and now it'll happen over and over again. The thing with Cunha is I think looking at him today, I could definitely see him on the left for us. But maybe the problem we all saw was just like with Eze, he's not out and out left winger enough. I just want Eze, and no one is going to, I think, be able to explain to me how we can't just put 30 million on the table right now and somehow sell Fabio Vieira and Albert Sambi-Lokonga for 12 million each, and then stick the 8 million we've got. It's got to be workable. It has to be workable.
Yeah.
Because other than, look, we've balanced our squad and we've added depth. Kepa's a great backup keeper. Norgård's a brilliant defensive midfielder backup. There were people talking about him. I saw Anthony Herbert said he might come on today. I was like, he's not even in the squad, so that's hardcore. Madueke is a risk, a punt. No one's expecting a great deal from him, but he's an undoubtedly good player, but obviously he's on the bench. The only two players we've actually therefore bought that have leveled up our team enough to get a starting berth is Gyökeres, who's arguably not ready, and Zubimendi. So someone like Eze, I think, it's going to be hard to see out this transfer window without Eze coming, because you just feel like we were so close. Why can't we just have a really good transfer window?
Yeah. I mean, if you're watching this game, there's got to be something that Arteta saw that you know what, we still got 2-3 weeks left in the window, or whatever the number of days it is, whatever. You know what? Maybe we make a left turn where we're gonna go, and we get that Like, what is that we're missing? What do we miss today that we're not going to get it, right? Either Dalman and Nweri are the answers to some of our problems in the middle of the pitch in terms of creativity and maybe a bigger attacking threat. But if that's not going to be the answer, then we need one, all right? As they could be that in the middle of the pitch if you want him there, or we can do what we usually do. We push him out to the left, which my understanding is he actually played the left wing today. He played a little bit out wide today on the left side today. Is my understanding.
I don't think he does. I've kind of made my peace with the fact that it's all very well me wanting someone to go out and hug the touchline.
Yeah.
But we don't have Martinelli's not doing that. So we're not like if Eze plays too far inside, it's still better to have somebody who wants the ball.
We're in agreement on that. But what I'm saying is I'd rather have a better player playing out of position than have what we have now. If I can tell you I'll get you a better player, he might be playing out of position, but it don't matter. He's a better player and he'll make it work. Right?
Yeah.
Then I'll do that because that's like saying we put Saka anywhere on the pitch, he's probably better than some of the starters, and that's not his role, right? Like we had to do that with Skelly. You know what? We don't have anybody better at left back right now. Skelly's playing a position pretty well. It's not his position, it's not his role. That's not where he's kind of be at the end of the day. But he's playing better than anybody else. So you know what? At some point, you just put footballers in positions, and they do the work because they're good at football, and it's okay. It's okay to play out of position, right? And they do a good job. So then you move on until you either find that like right now we're still looking for a left back. Some people still will tell you, what do we need? We need a left back. We need a left wing. We might need a 10. All right, they'll say, all right. And that's what you give me those 3 players, and I think we'll be okay, all right. And that it's not because some of the players we have can't play. It's just that we just want better. It's all right. We always talk about. At some point, somebody's going to come in and push you to the bench. So either you get better, or you come off the bench. That's how that works sometimes, and and that's why you work on your craft. When somebody says this is how things need to work, you got to work a little better. So that's why I'm saying he can play on the left, whether it's inside, forward, or whatever you want to call it. He could play on the left, and maybe that in itself means you got a better player playing out left, and we'll take that. We should take that. That should be okay, right? It should be okay. That should be an okay answer to what are we going to do in that left wing? Eze. All right. Does anybody stand up? Does Nani actually show up and play better? If he does, and he pushes him back to the bench, that's fine because now you've got Eze maybe competing with Erdogan or whoever plays in the midfield, right? You have options there. And you know what? If you're going to tell me, I always said if you're going to bring a player in and they're better than Saka and Saka has to go to the bench, Saka has to go to the bench. That's how.
Yeah, that's what meritocracy is based on, isn't it? It's literally there are no, and the idea in elite sports or sports of any kind where there's a prize at stake is that you pick the players to do for you. I'm going to rattle through these because it's getting on a bit now anyway. Galvo, what did you make of the 8-second rule for keepers? Made the game a bit quicker. It does unless you're Allison, in which case it's a 10-second rule and nothing happens. I don't mind any rule as long as it's applied to everyone. Idris Adam, good night. See you Tuesday. There were a few stupid calls we decided. Lucky, I didn't think you deserved a penalty for any of the calls, but it was close. I'll give you that. Nath Galva was strange getting used to be honest. So many times I just wanted them to slow the game down via the keeper. Might encourage Rhea to lob it a bit more often. There was one beautiful move where he passed it out quite quickly to Odegaard. Odegaard released Saka, and Saka got caught out, got tackled, which was a shame because there was some precision in that movement from Odegaard. I don't think Odegaard looks up until he's in trouble. Martinelli needs serious private coaching badly. He needs extra sessions and stay behind after training. He's getting worrying. I agree. Listen, I think I can only make excuses for Martinelli for 2 years, and this is season 3, and this time he has to pick it up now. Because I said this on another stream last week. Because people like us, we want to be loyal to Martinelli, but you can't be loyal to a player. You have to be loyal to the position. If Madueke's sitting on his hands and would be doing better than Martinelli, then I can't be loyal to Martinelli. I have to be loyal to the team. That's why Fergie had depth. He had Rooney, Tevez, Berbatov, Cristiano. Don't train well, don't play. Yeah, I think there's not enough of that pressure. Lucky Singh says, not bad, guys. Great against opposition like Liverpool today. Even Devil came to us. How passing straight to left flags. There's some. I like the zip of some of the Man United's passing. Glazers out. Fan Adam Wharton, I want next to Garty support, man. You can't keep buying players, man. At a certain point, you've got to make something of the players you've got. You've already got you've got a bus shelter of fucking players trying to leave your club right now. Yeah. You know, that aren't allowed to train. That aren't even allowed to train with the first team. Madueke not doing anything in left wing. It's too unnatural for him. I don't know. I definitely get your point, but I have to reserve judgment until I've seen him fuck it up.
Yeah, he hasn't played, and I don't think he's played enough for me to go, nope, it's terrible.
Yeah, exactly. Saka will forever be shackled under Mikel. If Mikel doesn't change, Saka at Barca would be all over the pitch, not here. Different setup, different coaching. Hansi Flick. Yeah, I mean, Hansi Flick, and I say this with love, his sextuple was one of the greatest achievements at Bayern. He's not a tactician. You should, I mean, him, They released his coaching of the German national team, and him talking to the German team, and they're looking at him like, you don't know the fuck you're talking about. And he's not a tactico. But I'm pushing Adam Wharton, hopefully loan Rasmus Højlund. I think it's really harsh the way they're treating Rasmus. I do think there's a player in there. Alejandro Garnacho is ridiculous.
That's no different than what we do to some of our players, and we're like,
no, it is different. And give me an equivalency.
When I say that, I mean to the effect that if Arteta can't figure out how to make it work, he just ices the players sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean, like, who are you thinking of?
Like for me, I felt like, I think like when he first came in, and he had, I'm trying to think of any. There's been times where you're like, all right, bring in who is that player that we say is always a 7 no matter what, right?
He's always the what?
He's a defender. He was an Egyptian defender that would come in, and you knew what you're going to get from him. Everybody would complain because they would say he was he would pass sideways and backwards, but defensively he was solid. And he came into a Manchester United game, helped us close it out. Like they were trying to get.
When? Back in the 19.
It's about 2 or 3 years ago.
A defender.
Yeah, a defender for us. He plays for Egypt. He's an Egyptian defender.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I can't think of his name. The name just slips my tongue.
Oh shit! Why can't I think of his name?
But he just like, I think last year he Mo. Yeah, Mo. Oh my gosh.
I really love him as well. That's awful, isn't it?
No, but like there were opportunities where you're like, you know what, the defenders are struggling here. Why don't you just bring him in and let him see out the game? And he wouldn't do it. And you're like, oh man, or you know what, Emo Sufro, let's bring him on because it's
El Neni.
El Neni, there, Mo.
Fucking, I was going to do my head in.
Yeah, El Neni, yes. And like, there's those types of things where you're like, you have a player that can, like today. I would say Martin Odegaard didn't have one of his better games. Maybe we need this. Can we sub him out? Do we have a player in his position that we can bring in? Right? And some would say that might be. And yeah, is that can we bring in Nweri in there maybe to change things up a little bit? And we won't do it. And you're like, at some point, you know what? If you're not going to bring him in when your star isn't showing up today, when are you going to ever play him? Right? Because that's why you have a bench, right? Like I didn't feel necessarily that some of our substitutions made any sense to me, unless they were, for minutes. I think minutes is why Gyökeres went off. I think Rice maybe had a little knock, and that's why he came off. Because basically, you're trying to close out a game. Those two players should be on the pitch. I think that's the only reason why I would have said they came off. But for so because it looked kind of like, oh well, we're going to go to Moreno for Rice. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, I mean,
like I said, there's reasons why you bring a player in, and then if you don't, essentially it looks like you don't want them anymore, and they're not.
You're really stretching that though, because I'm talking about like you paid 72 million quid for a forward.
Yeah,
you haven't got any interest in him at all. You just don't even put him in the squad. He's not even in the squad today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can't afford to do. The reason why that's happening there is because they can afford to have that player and not even put him out there.
I don't know how.
Right?
I don't know. But anyway,
they're doing it. They're doing it.
Yeah, no, I don't think they can afford to. I think things you could do that you can't afford to do all the time. Lucky Singh says decent player Alejandro Garnacho just needs finished product. So Social joins, I think we're just starting to feel sad for Marty. I'm seriously worried about his career. I think he's over for Arsenal. Yeti, I think you were the first time not in love with that picture, to be honest with you. Very lucky today that United wasn't better. That's a daft thing to say. Of course we are. Yeah. We're really lucky that United weren't fucking brilliant today.
Yeah, when we beat Manchester City 5-1, we weren't going, you know what? It would have been better if they were better today. No, I don't care how they were. We beat them 5-1.
This guy's on a roll. Look, this guy's on a roll. Yeah, I don't know if you've been here before, but like I'm not sure. That's might bar you. You think Arteta going to drop his favourites? Isn't a favourite someone that you like? Like, who would drop their favourites? Who drops their favourites, Yeti? Just come back to me with an answer on that one. Here we go. No good moves. Arteta is clueless. Wake up. Right. This is what I mean. Well, then it goes, yeah, Yeti. Oh, Lucky Singh says, Yeti, interesting. He goes, you're not, mate. Yeti, do you have a home to go to, mate? Stick with Arteta, you'll win nothing. I tell you what, stick with your barber, you'll never get laid. No distribution to Gyökeres unless he was on the wing. That's true. Do you know what? Sometimes you get in a habit of thinking that because the first four things you hear someone say already did not the best, that the fifth thing might. That's a fair point. I just get this sense that you've come into a place you don't know anyone and you just want to start a row, and this ain't that place, my friend. Do you think I care if you like my picture? I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss you so much. I was just starting to really like you. Like I might like. I like Yeti. Meeting you was like the first time I ever found out what a verruca was. That's what that felt like. Thanks for coming. Don't let the door hit you on your ass as you leave. Right, so where was I? So Nath is saying, you're telling me you wouldn't have took Shabby 1-0 win opener. Don't like getting it with him. Fabio Laconga iced out, loaned out. I think it's different. I think if you've been loaned out for 2 seasons and you come back. Hey, Hydro Boiler, nice to see you. Hydro Boiler, sorry. Nice to see you. We got lucky today, lads, but that was a sign of a good team. I would take, and Social Jones was shouting at his screen going, it's El Neni, you idiots. I'm sorry, man. Like, yeah, we all have those brain farts, don't we? El Neni, yeah, absolutely right. Ethan Eze would have, so Hydro Boiler, we got lucky today as a sign of a good team. Listen, you know what? Let's celebrate when we're lucky, shall we? Yeah. Let's just celebrate.
Like I said, I'm taking the win. I just, if I'm going to talk about the football, I'm going to talk about it the way I would like to talk about it, and that means, like tomorrow, I would like to see better. That's all.
Do you know what, Gary?
Yeah.
Like on that point, I wish everyone was like that. Yeah. Like, do you know? Because it's, first of all, people who come in here and they have a defined agenda. So they're like, if it's a win, they still have to be angry. If it's a defeat, they still have to find a positive. It's like, that's not normal. Like, I have no agenda. If we play really badly, last season was a tough watch. I didn't enjoy many of the games. There were a few that I did like. I enjoyed the Madrid games. I enjoyed some of the European games, but there were a lot of games. The West Ham game at home was just a fucking debacle. And I need to be able to say that. And sometimes, I'm not naming any names, but sometimes you come in here and you say, that was a bit shit. And you got people going, oh, because you're turning into one of those now. And I'm going, I'm not turning to anything. I'm just saying, like, of the games I've seen us play, this was not going to be this doesn't make the top 100. All right. So there are differences. But in a real world, what you're talking about is you can come in here and say, okay, we won the game. I'm thrilled about that, because I like to see us win the league. And obviously it's better to get 3 points than not. And Man United are not an easy team to go and get 3 points from. So I like to think that we overperformed expectations, etc. But that doesn't mean that you have some agenda to follow and that you therefore have to say one thing or one other thing. It's just literally that you're able to say, I think we've all kind of come in here and had slightly different opinions. I was surprised at how much everyone thought Odegaard played badly, but I can understand that. Because I can say I might be wrong. When I'm barring people for being in here, it's that they never seem to concede to the idea they might be wrong. I'm always telling it as it is. Yeah, but that's your perspective. No, that's exactly how it is. And only I can see how it is. And everyone else is really stupid. And I've never achieved anything in my life. And it's just because everyone else is so stupid. They're the ones that did my head in. They're all over the place. But I will say what I said earlier. We know them all by fucking name. Right? You know all these people by name. You know the angry, shouty, pissy people by name. That's how few of them there are. Ain't he like 185? Yeah, Euro, I tell you what, right? This is not how you should judge footballers. I accept that this is me being juvenile, silly, and not really having a good football debate. But doesn't Lenny Euro look stupid? I mean, doesn't he look cartoonishly silly? Like, there's a point where you're watching a footballer going, mate, can't you just like a short back and sides, maybe? I don't know, but this is silly, isn't it? He just looks stupid. He just
I don't understand style. The style's changed.
No, but you don't have to understand the style. And then there's Ray Charles is saying to this guy, "Are you sure, sir?" Like, you know, if you're the barber that did that to him, you know, there's a point where, you know, like, I don't know, would the women in your life really let you leave the house looking like this? He just looks silly. I'm not going to pull his picture up. That feels a bit.
It's you know, we all five looked at an athlete and went, "What were you thinking?" As you said, like, "Oh, you think what is that? What is that? What is that? No, seriously, what is that?" You know, you say that.
You know,
so
I mean, there you go. Look, I mean, that's just.
You know what? I think he's going for like the Victorian times, like, you know, the wigs that he used to have.
He's going for. He's going for olive oil out of Popeye.
Oh, I don't know.
It's just bad. Yeah, but, you know, like, that's the worst reason to not like a footballer. No, it's not the worst reason to not like a footballer. It's one of the worst reasons to not like a footballer. I'll take 3 points against Peckham Reds every day. I would. I think for all the times we went to Old Trafford and played them off the pitch only to get beat by a bad decision or scrappy goal. Hey, listen, Hydro Boiler, one of my favourite comments of the night. Do you know what? Like, the season where we announced ourselves and we started challenging for the title, we went to Old Trafford very early on and they did us 3-1, but we ran them. You know, we absolutely dominated them. It was a kick in the teeth. This time round, that didn't happen. I don't know. I'm not saying there's a justice in the world. There isn't. Dan is good fan Arsenal. I think you're right. Gillingham versus Arsenal in the FA Cup this year, in my opinion. Idris Adab, if that's right, I will buy you a drink. United agreed a fee of 62 million plus potential 8 million in add-ons to sign France under 21, international sources told. You know what? They like to spend money. They spent 17 million on Rasmus Højlund. When Arsenal were looking at him, I investigated him. I didn't know much about him. I started watching as much as I could and read about him. And what the big sticking point for me was he'd only scored 9 goals in his entire career. And they wanted 35 million. I was like, that's a lot of money for a guy who's only scored 9 goals. And then Man United came in and gave him 70 million. I was like, well, that definitely isn't a deal I would have done. That's quite a lot of pressure on a young 21-year-old player, but it hasn't turned out. No one's walking over that United team this season. Good luck to the other big six. Good point. Well made, Social. Arsenal paid 35 million for Ricardo Calafiori on a 60 grand a week. So that's not much, is it? We've done quite well. See, the other thing that annoyed me, I was looking at finance. I was looking at some of the finance sites, and they were saying about how much money we've cleared off our wage bill. You know, we really have. We've got rid of Thomas Partey, Kieran Tierney. We were paying about £90,000 a week for Raheem Sterling. Neto was on 50 grand a week. We've cleared some money that we could. I mean, obviously, I've brought in some players. Eze, come on, let's make this happen. Don't let him go to Tottenham.
Yeah, I just when that happened, I was just like, because I thought this got to be a joke, right? Because you're not gonna allow, you know, like he couldn't have been. He was on our radar, and then he's not on our radar anymore. That just doesn't make any sense. And I kind of sometimes, and then some people say, oh, it's just the agent trying to force the hand of either Arsenal or Crystal Palace to just make it happen, kind of thing. You know, like
I get that.
I get that.
Yeah, maybe some truth, but we've had the season started.
Yeah.
We sounded out the player. The player told his friends he was coming to Arsenal, if you believe everything you read. And now the season's kicked off. and he's still at Crystal Palace. We could have done it by now.
Yeah. We don't want to. Well, you know what? That's I think I've been saying it all this window. If Arsenal is in for a player right now, it seems 9 times out of 10 we get the player unless we don't want the player anymore.
That's how I feel.
Because
Listen, he hasn't
Šeško,
chosen.
nobody wanted Šeško when we were looking at Šeško and Gyökeres. You didn't really hear like, oh well, you know what? Somebody else is. It didn't seem. I didn't see enough of. Well, United's looking at him right now. No, it seemed like as soon as Arsenal and it was as soon as Arsenal makes a decision on one of the strikers, the other striker will now come on the market to the open market.
And the Man United fans will go, "Oh, that's what we wanted all along." I know we took the piss out of you for going for Šeško, not Gyökeres, but actually we've got Šeško now, and he's definitely better. Please don't laugh at us. Man United should just be honest about it. Please don't laugh at us. Please don't. I know that our stadium's crumbling and our team's in decay, and nobody wants to come here, and the ones that do are just doing it for the money. And we've been through managers, and you've been through strikers, and like I get it, but like just I don't have to laugh at Man United anyway. We've got the 3 points. I can ignore them all over now. What's my favourite pub in Finsbury Park? My favourite pub in Finsbury Park is the Blackstock Copy, I think. Will also say United will do damage to some teams this year, and I really do think that Man United will be the Nottingham Forest this season. Yeah. They will be fighting very hard to get into Europe. They might do it, they might not, but it could be Ruben Amorim is a little bit too one-track pony.
That front three will only get better the more they play. And Šeško gets into the starting lineup, and they're playing with that starting lineup with Bruno behind them. The only good thing that's going to happen, like today they just played us. We're a better team than most of the teams are going to play. So no matter what.
No, but don't forget the incisive, fully brained Yeti that came in and said we were lucky that they weren't much better. It's a bit like saying to Muhammad Ali, you're just really lucky that everyone you fought wasn't much better than you.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen games where a team only had 10 shots and won 4-0, and you're like, "What? How did that happen?" Well,
it was Everton Brighton. That always jumps out at me completely. It's like I watched that game, and you're like watching it going, "This is not right." It's like, but that's why football's interesting. That's why all these people are so confident their opinions are so full of shit. Like I said to the guy earlier, it's like if you're this sure that we're going to finish 5th, just take your money to a bookie. Yeah. Funny how the fucking bets all dry up, isn't it? When people say to me, we're definitely all right, I'll tell you what, I'll give you odds on it. Like I put my money where my mouth is. If you are prepared to do the same, then I could take you seriously. Until then, you're just talking. It's just breeze. Sometimes it's just a hot breeze. Our issue is we get duds still on the books, just a last few to bin. Yeah, we have. I think it's a lot. Chelsea definitely have. Man United definitely have. Let's be honest. City have struggled to move players on. They struggled to get rid of Grealish. They didn't really get good value for him. They spent 100 million on him. No one talks about Grealish. I suppose it's difficult with City because Grealish has won the treble. So how much of a dud can you call him? If Pepe had won a treble with us, you probably wouldn't call him a dud either. I think every team's got the same problem. I think, look at. I think Tottenham have made a mistake with Tell. Although Richarlison started off this season well, I think they made their mistakes with Timo Werner, and I think they worry me a bit this season. Tottenham, not as much as the 3-0 victory suggests against Burnley, but you know what I mean. Miss Molina making a very good point here about leaving a like on the stream. You don't have to. Oh, Jordan's here. You never walk alone. Great to see you, Jordan. Hydro Boiler. We are looking at Rodrigo. That's why we've dropped Eze apparently. Listen, that makes sense, but then that feels like a very Edu tactic. If we put all our eggs in the Rodrigo basket, I don't know how much Rodrigo really wants to come to Arsenal, and then we get neither. I do think that this season's transfer window will be an 8 out of 10, whatever happens from here. But if we can bring in a left wing or a creative spark of a player and sell some players, then I'd give it a 9. Not that anyone gives a shit what I think. But Dan, I'm cool with us buying Amadou Onana or Adam Wharton because partner Ugarte. Ugarte is a player I really like. I just haven't seen it at Man United. I really like Ugarte. It's funny how you can just there's something wrong with Man United. I'm not trying to rub it in. I'm not trying to be clever or funny. But there are really good players that go to Man United and you just go, I don't know what happened there. I promise he used to be a good player. But
then people will tell you that Arteta's not really a good coach, and then I'm going to tell you, look at the players that are at Chelsea, look at the players that are at Manchester United. and tell me how good they're playing with supposedly better coaching.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think all the detractors of Mikel Arteta usually expose themselves in the same way. Like I have no strong position one way or the other. It could be that Arteta wins us a title. Might be that he doesn't. If he doesn't, like everyone gets a certain amount of time to do their job or they get sacked, right? That's not unusual. He's definitely got this season, perhaps longer. But the one area they always fall down on is it's very easy to say. Do you know what it is? It's like when you make something creative, like if you're a cook. Like I watch a program over here called MasterChef. I know there's various different iterations of it now, but essentially it's professional cooks or amateur cooks in the different seasons and series. But in the one where professional cooks, amateur cooks cook, they have this part of it where they bring in food critics. Now, as much as I don't like people who are horrible to other Arsenal fans, I find them like they're sort of pond scum to me. But below them, even in the sort of subaquatic bacterial level, are food critics. Because these are fucking idiots who come in. Like, I've just cooked you like a delicious teriyaki glazed steak, right? And I've done it in a miso broth with like some strange umami mushroom you've never heard of. And I've bound it all together with a voulet of pork, whatever, right? And you eat it and go, meh. I think, hang on, you can't actually do that, right? You know you can't actually fucking do the thing I just did, but you've got an opinion on it. Oh, well, fuck you then. You know, well, fuck you. Do you know who can criticize other food? Cooks. Like, if you can do what I do and I care about your opinion. I feel like this is doubly true of football, by the way, because all these guys my age sitting there with beer bellies going, he can't even trap a ball. He can't even, like, well, oh, so you can though, yeah? So you feel qualified to tell this guy who's, no, come on, like, have something about you. But the kind of people who they can just criticize. Like, I did that video about, I did the parody of Team America and people telling me they don't find it funny. I was like, what makes you think I need your opinion? Like, why don't you make something that's funnier? And then that's how you tell me I'm shit. I don't like it. It's like, God, if God put you on this earth with limbs and eyes, ears, a mouth, a brain, and all you could do is tell other people what was wrong with their shit, you're taking up space. We're close to no transfer business right now. We've done some transfer business, to be fair. Johnny Hill, if you could. Sorry, Johnny Hill's come in. I don't know if I know you, Johnny, but nice to see you here, I think. I haven't read what you said yet, so I'm going to say hi and then immediately read it and then see how I feel about it. If you're going to be honest, though, Arsenal fans are also doing the same thing. A lot of Arsenal fans wanted Česko, then mock him now. Yeah, that's true. No, I have to agree with that. That's a really fair point.
I think we all said this. I'll take either one. But if you're going to you're going to tell me which one do I want first. I'm going to say I want Gyökeres, and other people are going to say I want Česko. But yeah. I've been fine with either one. You're just going to get different things with either one. You're going to have to take your pill. Either you're going to get an older player who might be done in a couple of years, or you're going to get a younger player who'll be really good in a couple of years. You just take your.
I see. This is where the only problem I had with it is, look, I obviously we've lived this now. We signed Gyökeres. I wanted Česko. I've seen more of Česko than I have of Gyökeres by distance. I heard a lot of people telling me that it became the narrative that Česko is going to be a good player in 2 years. I think he might be a good player now. I've seen him score goals now that I've never seen anyone else score. His goal against Bayern is a goal he scored now. He didn't score it in 2 years' time. Alexander Isak, when he was signed from Sociedad, wasn't as prolific as Benjamin Česko has been now. There's people out there that want to tell you he hasn't scored 20 goals a season in the last 4 seasons because he's 22.
Yeah. Well, you're right about that. He maybe can score, some of those goals that you're not going to see from Gyökeres. But I want to say, but I also, if I can get somebody that averaged 40 plus goals in a season for the last 2, or maybe maybe if he only gets.
You get this, 20, though, don't you? Like, this is the problem with sports. It's like, I'm really glad we've got Gyökeres. There's something I like about him. He's got the shirt on. I support him. I find it really difficult to have an honest conversation about it now, because I'm not one of these guys that gets a hard on for saying I told you so. No. I don't want to get to the end of the season with Česko on 21 goals and Gyökeres on 3 and be like, why didn't you fuckers listen to me? but I do feel like that might happen to some degree, not to that extreme. And that this conversation was being had. And my favorite quote of this was Turkish when he was on his own channel. And he said, look, I haven't seen Gyökeres play, but he's a bagsman, you know? And go, like, surely at the point where I'm saying, look, I haven't actually seen the film, but it is absolutely outstanding. I have invalidated my opinion to some degree, haven't I? I don't know why I would expect to be allowed to have such a strong opinion on a product I haven't seen. You know, like if I said to you, listen, I've never actually eaten at Claridge's restaurant, but you have to go. The food is divine. It's okay. I think it's normal for you to go, I'm not sure how much I value your opinion, Dan. Listen, I've never read A Tale of Two Cities, but you've got to read it. It's a brilliant book. You know, I've never seen the Mona Lisa, but you have to go and look at it. There's a point we got to with Gyökeres where all of these people that were losing their shit that we were in for Šeško and not Gyökeres had not seen either of them play. And on that basis, I just felt like maybe trust the scouting team, the coaching network, Andrea Berta and Mikel Arteta. So I'd be a hypocrite if, having said that, I couldn't apply that to Gyökeres, because they went and bought Gyökeres. And so if it's true that they know their shit, and that's what I was saying, then I have to take their word for it. And there's a lot I like about how he joined our club. I like his enthusiasm. I think he will get us goals. And I don't hate that he's a bit of a lump. But the fear was that Šeško comes on today and sticks on pulse. Yeah.
No, and then, but you know what? But then some people will tell you that's because you didn't give any service to your to Gyökeres. And then
apart from when he was out wide on the right, and then we were like, "You have the ball now." Do you know what? He impressed me with his crossing. There was one cross that really someone should have been on the end of, and you think, yes, it should have been you donut.
Yeah. But you know what? And how does that happen? How do we end up with our striker having to go out wide for a ball? Because we don't have our wings out there. And it's like
Henry used to love doing that.
Yeah.
Henry used to love going out
but
wide.
Henry might be the one turning it, splitting defenders and then getting taking a shot.
Not on his first game.
But I'm just but that's why we'll take it for now, right? We expect it to get better. He might never have to do that again for the rest of the season because there's always somebody there and he's in the middle doing what he's supposed to do.
From the first game he played against Villarreal, which I thought was a carbon copy of Kai Havertz performance, which was really depressing because I was like, we haven't just bought a player to be another Kai Havertz. We already have Kai Havertz. And that's why we want a striker, because we don't want another one. To how he played today and how he played against Atletico Bilbao, I have seen green shoots of hope. I just think he needs time to bed in. But yeah, to the point, if you're honest, Arsenal fans do the same thing. A lot of Arsenal fans wanted Šeško and now mock him. I haven't heard anyone mock him, and Nath makes that point as well. None of us, I think, have mocked him. Social Joy says Rodrigo wanting 290 a week. I don't see it, my guy. Our transfer window looks done. It does look done, but I do want. I can still hope. Stop it. Take away my hope. No, man, Ugarte, not that good. PSG binned him for a reason. Ugarte should play in Italy under Conte or Gasperini. I'm thinking of the I don't think that's right. I know it didn't work for him at Bayern, but I do like him. He's a player I do like. It's definitely not worked for him. He hasn't quite had the career that I would have expected for him. I was surprised that he left. I don't know. It's difficult. Listen, it's always difficult when you're making a defense of a player whose performances have been shit. What am I supposed to say? Ugarte hasn't had a good season in 3 or 4 years, so it's not like I don't know what I'm really supposed to say about that.
I mean, I think as far as me, for me, no, he didn't even. I don't even think he even played today. Maserati is, for me, I believe, like, for me, seems to have been their best defender when I've looked at Manchester United, as far as that back line is concerned. And I think he was out today, I believe. So, they weren't playing with their best defender in my eyes. So, yeah.
No, I mean, but here's the thing, right? Like, on the specific subject, like, I get it. Like, you're not loving Ugarte, blah, blah, blah. But where's that comment gone? Oh, yeah, so Ugarte is the reason PSG binned him. But, like, So we snap up players from Sporting.
Yeah.
You know, okay, it didn't work at PSG. And I'm not going to make the case it's worked at PSG. You wouldn't be at Man United if he was successful at PSG, would you?
Yeah.
I just think there's a player in there, man. Also, Hydro Boiler saying that we are paying Jesus 365,000 a week. Yeah, but there's a reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
Fundamentally changed our type of football completely and had 2 bad injuries. No one can predict that. If we come out with all 3, then what will they be like when the window's closed, business done and dusted, and Gyökeres said the team click, he comes from Sweden, the girls are very nice.
Yeah.
Hydro Boy, I don't think we can have another 290 quid player, Saliba. I think the contract that's being worked on for Saka is going to be huge. Saliba, you imagine it's going to be huge. I hope we build in like $1 billion release clause. Although that doesn't really matter anymore these days, does it? I'm going to call time because I think we've all. I don't think Yeti's coming back. I was really kind of hoping Yeti would come back. I just love people who come into a place they've never been before and try and wind everyone up. That's a sign of a life well spent. That is.
Yeah.
I wonder, before online, did these people used to do that in actual pubs?
Just walk in and just go
Yeah,
after you.
everyone in here is a twat. Oh, I've been glassed again, mum. Do you know what I mean? It's like one of them, isn't it?
Yeah, no, you were just talking about a player, and I just remember Santi Cazorla. I thought he had played for a bigger team, but he played for Malaga before he came, and Villarreal
Santi
before
Cazorla?
that. But then, but like
Never
he's a player
heard of him until he played for us.
Yeah,
I
and then we
never
love
heard of
him, right? We love him. So
love him beyond love. You can't. I love my cat, right? Like I love my cat. Like no, Santi Cazorla is beyond love. Santi Cazorla is.
But sometimes you go to another team and they allow you to express yourself because you know what, they're going to give you that opportunity. Where the other team is like, well, you're not better than who we got, so you know what, you're probably not going to get those opportunities. Don't waste a trip. You get there, you take your opportunities, and it might work out for you. And that's why sometimes it's more like if I'm Martinelli, like, am I going to get the best out of myself here? Is my career going to stall here, or is or do I need a different challenge? Meaning, I might have to take a pay cut. I might have to go somewhere where I might.
No one
have
does
to fight
that.
for a spot, right?
Listen.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. But I'm just saying that's what it will take sometimes.
No, 100%. I think you're spot on. Like if you understand, like one of the things that used to drive me mad as a recruitment consultant is I would have let's say a contractor that wanted £600 a day, right? And I'd be saying to him, there isn't anything right now that's going to pay you £600 a day, but just take the £450 a day thing, and then you're still working. And they would turn me down for 6 months. And if you've been out of work for 6 months, you're not getting 600 quid anyway. So now they'd be like, okay, look, it's been 6 months. I'm prepared to go down to the 450. And you go like, you idiot, you haven't been working for 6 months. No one's giving you 450. Now take the 350. And they'd be like, oh, I'm not doing it for 350. And literally these guys the worst thing about being an IT contractor is you have to train yourself. So they'd have a year out and they have no new skills. They've not trained anything and then they're unemployable. And you go, for the sake of 100, listen, money in my pocket is still money I can spend. 100% of nothing is still nothing. If you want to pay me to do a job, I'll do the job, and then I'll work my way up. If you're really a 600 quid a day contractor and they're paying you 450, believe they'll give you chances. Yeah. If you're a footballer, like they always used to say, I remember Arsblog. I love Arsblog and Arsblog Extra, Arscast Extra, right? I remember vividly. It was the early days of Arteta. It was before we went away to Chelsea for that game that changed everything. But they were talking about Kieran Tierney around then, and they were saying, who would want to come into Arsenal when they've got such a good left back? And I was like, if you're a professional athlete, then you think you can take Kieran Tierney's spot from him. And if you don't, then you don't belong at Arsenal. But are you trying to tell me that there aren't, like when Ramsdale comes and Bernd Leno's in goal, when David Raya comes and Ramsdale's in goal, when you're a great player, you don't see it as a problem to bide your time and take someone else's position. Yeah. And when you're at a club that's not doing well, if you're going to be Jadon Sancho and go, I'd rather sit here and take 300 grand a week and not play. Great, but what are you going to do at the end of your contract?
Yeah,
you're unemployable.
Yeah. No, it's for me. It's how our players introduced into the squad and whether they feel confident in their skill set. Because as you said, we brought goalkeepers in here not knowing if they were going to be the starters day one, right? Raya had to fight for it. You know, to some degree, I believe Ramsey had to fight for it. They weren't like just giving it to them. And then, like you look at other positions, they're like, well, Saka's there, so there's no way I'm going to get to play. So why bother?
Yeah.
Right? Why bother?
And I think Madueke is not that guy. I think Madueke is looking like, how good do you think he is? Then let's just put him. And I love that. And competition that leads to success. And you listen, there is societally and politically, you can say that the countries and societies that operate on just competitiveness fail because there's no safety net, there's no love for the people that struggle. But when it's collaboration and competition, when you and I are like goalkeepers, the weirdest thing about goalkeepers is their best friends in squads are usually the goalkeeper they're keeping out of the team.
Yep.
It's because they understand the game. Like, we're gladiators. If you and I are both, what position would I play that you might play? Well, you could play lots of positions. I'm pretty much just going to be a central midfielder in the Jan Mulby mod. Like, I don't have to run too much, right? Put it that way. Or I'll be a centre back and I'll just we're playing non-league, right? If we're both chasing the same spot, I want the team to do well. I want you to play well. Like, if I don't belong in a team sport.
Yeah.
But I still think I'm better than you, and I will prove it every day, given half a chance.
And that's what you want in your squad. Like, you want players that want to, they're friendly. Yeah, we're going to hang out with you, but like when they get on the pitch, I'm trying to win a spot. I want to start tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the way I can start tomorrow is if I show up, and I'm better than you, we'll have a drink after this. But I beat you today, and then the next day, when you go out to practice, it's another competition to see who plays, right? And then the better talented player usually will win out because they have the talent. But then when it comes, but if you work on your craft, you can catch up in multiple different ways. You don't have, sometimes it might not be, the most talented player. It might just be the better player. You know what I mean? Just because you have the talent doesn't mean it's going to work.
Talent isn't worth table salt. There's no such thing as talent. It's a myth. Like, you show me the person with the most talent, I'll show you the guy who turned up for training hardest. And my favorite comment was Ray Parlour being interviewed in the season when Dennis Bergkamp arrived. Actually, no, I think it was the season after. I think it was Wenger had arrived, and they were interviewing. We were doing really well. And someone said to Ray Parlour, how good is Dennis Bergkamp? He goes, it's just mad. It's like he's mental. He's easily the best of us. And what's really crazy is, even though he's the best of us, he still turns up for training more than us. He's still the first one in training. He stays to the end. And you're like, Ray, I'm just going to wait for the penny to drop, man. Like, what do you think? It's a coincidence? You think that the fastest man in the world trains the hardest coincidentally? You think that there's a great book on this called Bounce, and it's about the myth of talent. And it talks about the number of people in the world that can do a triple salto in ice skating. And there's like 12. And the one thing they all have in common, without fail, is that I don't know if you've ever tried to do a triple salto or a twisting jump in an ice skating, right? I have. Believe me when I tell you that falling on ice is not pleasant. It's just the shittest thing that can happen to you. And I've tried it, and a triple salto tells you one thing about a human being, and that is that they fell on their knees and their arse a lot, because that's all your choices are when you're on ice skates. You can either hurt your knees or your coccyx. And like, first of all, you think, well, knees is better, and then you go, it can't be, and then you hit coccyx and you go, somehow it still is, because it hurts all over. Everything hurts, not just for the hour after you finish skating, but for the whole week, the rest of your life. I still have coccyx injury that still hurts on some days from when I was 14 years old. So that's what talent is. Talent is, can you jump and fall and jump again? Because if you can't win. And every last one of these players that is being criticized by the bleached grey men that have comments on everything have put themselves and their bodies through things we can't imagine since they were 8 years old. And they do it. And you have to have a personality type to do that. And they are confident in themselves and committed to themselves. And if you take something away from them, they will fight you for it. And I think that's the paradigm that's always existed in football. As a manager, you want the player that's knocking on your door, but they will accept your decision. If I've got a team full of players and they all seem happy enough to turn up to training and no one ever goes, why aren't I playing? Like Emile Smith-Rowe would have been going, when am I going to play? And Arteta would have gone, I just don't feel you're confident enough. Just on that, I do also just want to add, because I keep forgetting to mention it, it's hard to hate Mikel Arteta for the players he's let go of, not done it anywhere.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say is I wish he would have let him go sooner sometimes.
Yeah,
he gives them a longer rope to not necessarily hang themselves with, but to a lot of rope. When sometimes I'm like, you know what, I think you've seen enough, coach. I think you've seen enough. Like yeah. Sometimes they, it's okay to let him go, and you know what, if you're not, and then because at some point then they get ostracized, and then that's when I say they get iced out of games, because they're like, you really don't want this player, but you're like you're holding on to them somehow. You give them a little bit of a teaser, and it's like, no, you let them go. Yeah. Just let them go. It's all right.
I mean, Kieran Tierney, I think, jumps straight to mind when you think that.
Yeah. But Tierney, I think, for me, was more of an injury issue, like availability thing, than it was a talent thing for me, I believe. Like, if he was healthy, I think we would have found he would have definitely had a spot on the team. But when he can't stay healthy sometimes, then that's also another.
Maybe he wasn't always getting picked at Sociedad, and then he got an injury, and those things are heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking, because you think, I mean, it's Jesus. Jesus all over. Like, he came in to our team. We could have signed Isak for 20 million more than we paid for Jesus. We went for Jesus. He transformed the way we played. He made us suddenly go from 5th to being top of the table for longer than any other team in history without winning it, which is not an accolade I'm very keen on, but it is something that marks that we did well. Mm-hmm. And then he got injured in the World Cup, and we've never really seen him since. He came on. I remember being so glad when he came on against Fulham. We won that game with 3 crosses from Trossard, the newly signed player, and it all looked so great. And then that season fell away because we got battered by Man City. I don't need to tell you all the history, but there are players that come, and it just is so unfortunate. That's why when you're looking at Jesus on 275,000 a week, you go, yeah, I don't know. If only there were no injuries in football. If only it was a bit more like FIFA.
Yeah.
But it isn't. He's scoring goals with a cannon on his chest. His name is Victor Yokers. Da 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 da. I'm not sure this is the song though, is it? I think there's got to be better. I think I want to quickly just remind everyone how it's actually pronounced.
What's your full name?
Victor Einar Yokers.
But you can call me Gakis.
Yeah, so it's actually that nothing rhymes with that really. Gary, thanks for coming on. I'm sorry you had to be here when Yeti was here. He made a hairy mess of everything. I'm gonna have to get Zanzi to unclog the urinals when I see him again. He doesn't mind doing it.
Yeah.
If you're watching this in repeat, Zanzi, I hope you're well. Missed you.
Yes.
Joe, it's brilliant though. Like, we do the 3 shows a week, and people get no fresh trip art tonight. There's been people missing, but then there's been new people. Some who probably should have stayed home. But you were here, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Well, thanks for having me. I definitely have fun doing this. Just chatting, and it's I definitely enjoy when. I guess I don't know how I would handle as much as you do in terms of those that come on that have totally different opinions of how Arsenal should be.
I'm still finding my feet with it. Like I have to say, like, it does piss me off when, I went to that Shanguna and I was like, I haven't got a beef with anyone. Like, no one bothers me that much, right? And I went on there and he's just slagging me off. And I was like, first of all, I think I was more pissed off that he didn't get the joke. That he was like, he doesn't even realise he's made Mikel Arteta look like a dictator. Because, oh, yes, goodness, yes, I suppose. Yes, now that you mention it. Yes, I suppose making Kim Jong-il into Mikel Arteta does send a sort of dictatorial signal, doesn't it? That's the whole joke, you bellend. It's like, and then it's the wrath of anger. It's the anger towards me for my standards have upset them because their team hasn't won a football match. It's like, how important do you think I am? And how comes I don't ever get credit for us being invincible? Why doesn't anyone ever go, his standards are shit now and they're causing us problems. But back then, thanks to him, we won the event. No, because I'm just a fan. I just turn up and watch the game. I wanted us to play better today. I wanted Zubimendi to be magical, mercurial, wizard-like. I wanted Gyökeres to be like powerful and have the ball at his feet and dancing into the penalty area and slipping it past the despairing goalkeeper. I wanted all these things. It didn't happen. So sometimes as a grown-up, and I think some of these guys will realize this one day, you don't get all the shit you wanted. It's what you do about it. Like, you know, one of my favorite sayings is wish in one hand and shit in the other and see what fills up first. You know, your dreams come true. It's like, no, in life, if you want something, I'm very much of the opinion that don't ever, like, what I love about this channel is that there's a community of us. It's not possible for me to just sit here on my own and do this. I need you and Rosie and Melina and all the people that I've grown to really look forward to seeing and care about. And that's what I love about it. But like, obviously, where it is my thing is if I don't want to do it, none of you can make me. You're not my boss. Like, if I just wake up, if I'm tonight and I'm like, you know what, I don't feel like doing it, I don't do it. So this is my thing. And whether it's successful or not, will be down to me. It will be down to the support from people I care about, of course, but it's my thing, and I have no one to blame if this does. If I was hoping to become a millionaire on YouTube, I was an idiot to begin with, but it would only be my own fault. I watch people like DG working their socks off at it and getting good at it, and you see the work that goes into it, and you've got to respect that. I already have a job and a family, and I don't have the time for that. But what I do have time for is 3 times a week I come here because it's my choice and I choose to do it. And if it goes badly, I can hold my hands up and I can change it. I can interfere with it. I can do whatever needs doing. I can let Idrissa Dam do a quiz or whatever. Right? Love you, Idrissa Dam. But when I'm watching football, it's a different part of my brain. It's a part of my brain that goes, I don't have any control over this. I can't make Martin Odegaard look up and pass. I can't. I'm not in, you know, like even the guys that go, that shout, look up and pass, you bellend. They have a slightly better chance of making some impact on the game. I have none. So when these grey old men sitting there want to blame me for the shit that's going wrong on the pitch, and the point that they were making on the show, The Bruised Banana, when they were slagging me off was, he doesn't get it. You know, he thinks it's just like, you know, have fun, watch football. It's not. It matters to us. And I was like, I think that's the problem. I think the problem is it does seem to matter to you more than like anything else. And don't put your life in the hands of other people. My life is not in the hands of other people. If I want to be successful at something, I will go and fucking do it myself. And you need other people to help you, but you can't sit on the sidelines doing absolutely nothing and bitch that other people aren't making you happy. Because Declan Rice doesn't give a shit about Yeti. I don't know if Yeti is an Arsenal fan, to be honest, but you know what I mean. Like the Shane Gooners are like, I want them to play better, and they've got to play better. And it's like, no, they haven't. They haven't got to do anything for you. They don't know you. They don't care about you. Even people close to you don't know you or care about you. So why would they? Football is where you give yourself over to something bigger than yourselves and you join a community. And the one brilliant thing about Arsenal is not that we've won the most trophies. It's not that we're the most successful European team. It's not that we're the biggest club in England, the world, or anywhere. It's that we have this community that you just get to join, and no one is barred entry. I would argue nowadays we probably need some sort of entry exam, but like, you can be an Arsenal fan, I can be an Arsenal fan, Miss Melina can be an Arsenal fan. God help us, Anthony, we is dipped in sherbet, Herbert can be an Arsenal fan. We're all welcomed into a community, and isn't that a brilliant thing? So any prick that sits around within that community and tries to make it a difficult place for other people to be, like some sort of fucking septuagenarian mean girl, can piss off. And when they come in, I have no idea how to deal with them either. But normally, I think Rosie does it. I think she just fucking bins them off and I never see them. If Rosie had been here, I don't think Yeti would have made it through the door.
Yeah.
That's why when I tell Rosie she's the best, and she always goes, there's loads of people who do it better than me, I'm like, nope. Anyway, that was a rant at the end that I think everyone stayed up for, and will probably get clipped, and I'll probably find myself being sent horrible emails by people, but, you know, good. Last words from you, Gary?
Now, everybody in the chat, thanks for joining us. Idris Adam, I call him Idris Adam, and N1AFE. I don't know how you say that. But
I always call him Nath, but I think
Nath.
just because he used to be on here as Nathan, and now he's gone all.
Oh, okay, that's where I did see
21st
Nathan.
century.
So thanks for joining us, Miss Melina. He's going to see us out as well. But thanks for joining us. Yeah, I think well, we're going to enjoy this 3 points. We get ready for the next one. We get to laugh.
Leeds,
at Tom.
Leeds.
To laugh at Mr. Tom, and you know what?
Well,
that's what we want to do.
He wasn't here to see it, but I did make this for him.
Almost everything has something to do with Leeds United. Mr. Tom, that's my name. That name again is Mr. Tom.
I can't help it, but I'm sitting here thinking, what would happen if you told AI to go fuck itself?
Just
Love it.
And it's Leeds.
Love it. I saw there was a channel I watched, and like now they've created intros for some of their star chat, chat members. So when they join in, they'll play a song or something, and I'm like, I wish I had the time to do that because it would be pretty.
Oh man, that is a thing I think all the time because Kermit's middle finger was like, "Can I have a song?" I was like, "Yep." He hasn't given me a lot to work with in lyrics, though. Do you know what I mean? Ribbit, But I was like, that's the one thing that when I used to run a bar, I used to like to remember everyone's name when they came in, and you just that whole thing from Cheers. Sometimes you want to go,
right? Norm, right? Yeah.
Yeah. How's life treating you? Like I ran over its dog. I feel like as time's gone on, I've become Norm. But Miss Melina, beautiful comment. Don't let anyone steal your shine. They couldn't. I wouldn't let them. And block out the noise and keep doing your thing. You have to, don't you? And look, Rosie, as soon as I mentioned her, are you still live? No, we're literally going, Rosie, but good to see you again. Rosie's still up well. Oh, I just woke up to be sick. Good.
Oh, no.
Good. Always wake up to be sick. Don't do that shit in your sleep. That is bad news.
All right.
But hope you're feeling so much better. Idrissa Dam is getting a song. Of course you're getting a song. Don't be silly. Can you give me some suggestions for the song, though? Because it'll be quizzes and breaking news. Actually, I've got enough info. I could do a song for you. What? Just, Idrissa Dam, just quickly write down, do you want a rap song? Do you want a country song? Do you want a folk song? Do you want a pop song? What kind of song do you want? Would you like an electronic dance music song? Would you like something that's fierce or something that's mellow? Just give me some ideas. Rap, it's on.
Great. There you go.
On like Donkey Kong for Tuesday. Come and see as I present and unveil Idrissa Dam, and possibly even I've set myself too much to do already. Gary, thanks for being here, man. You're an absolute
thank you. Yeah.
See you guys. I've got to figure out what to play as an outro now. Hang on.
We'll see you guys on tomorrow on the trip. We'll be on 12:30 a.m. for you guys in the UK.
12:30 a.m. is good time. That's my bedtime sometimes. Right, I'm going to find us something to watch. In the meantime, if you all just want to give each other a hug to say goodbye, that's a nice thing to do. Not that kind of hug, obviously. Just keep it clean. It's gone a bit weird over there. Where have I hidden this? There we go. All right, that's us.
Yeah. Mic check 1 2. Peace to the Screen Kings crew in the digital lounge. After hours swing, football banter, late night vibes. Only real ones here. Subscribe and survive. Yo, it's 2 a.m. light dim like a VAR booth. After hours FC where we speak the raw truth. No scripts, no beef, just vibes and finesse. We click, go live. Now we clean the mix. Stand on the panel, voice slick like lacquer, cracking jokes like you Wenger with the banter factor. There's Rosie in the chat, always dropping the heat with them one-liners quicker than a soccer fast feet. Gary spins theories deep like mine gold dust. Swear we got the vision of a young Fabregas trust. And Irv Vader wild singing he's Arteta out. Sammy G laughs so hard, nearly spits his drink out.
Hours, no hate, just pure fire. Talking footy in life, we never tire. YouTube's finest, yeah, we congregate. We're legends of bait and good vibes.
Mel's rocking retro kits. Call her the style and dawn. Talking about 98 France like Zidane ain't gone. Zanzi with the stats. Got Opta scared to compete. Dropping facts so clean he knocks pundits off their feet. OG Malaya sips tea with the mic on mute, but when she types, it's gospel in a football suit. From North London to Lagos, they all tap in, cause it's never just a stream, it's a worldwide lock-in. No trolls, no hate, just the realest of kin. If you bring good vibes, yo, we let you in. It's that Wu Clan essence, but on football talk. Kick back, chop it up, catch up and get caught.
Powers, no hate, just pure fire. Talking footy and life, we never tire. YouTube's finest, yeah, we congregate. We're legends of bait and good vibes, baby.
So pull up a chair, pour a glass of chill in this YouTube joint where the love is real. From the Gooners to Reds and them Toffees too. We respect every crest, every shade, every view. This the clubhouse of cool, the lounge of peace, where opinions flow free and the jokes don't cease. A shout out to the fan, making midnight shine. After Hours FC, where football meets mine. Sending mad love to the regular, shout out to Fresh Strip Art, Cole S, Boy 10 Dio, Neff, Kermit, Mr. Tom, Sammy G, from the factory, Moth Sasquatch, Rido, Chris Nix, My Boss, Cannon Creature, Jordan, and Jerry, and cheer up Big Kyle, we might win the league in style. Massive elevations to y'all, peace out.
Peace out indeed.
All right. See ya.
Be lucky.